2-0 last week at half-time, it looked like the game was dead and buried. You wouldn't have had too many people thinking they're going to come back and get a level. They did come back and get a level. Yes, we know that then they didn't manage the game well, and the game got away from them, and they ended up getting beat 4-2. But it was the first time in well over 2 years they'd
Good afternoon. How are you?
in an away game. That's some record. And incidentally, they were missing Luke and Nyan last week, and the last time they conceded more 2 goals in the away game,
this will be
Luke and Nyan was also missing.
Is that better?
His older head and his experience at the back clearly made a bit of a difference there. I know Luke and Nyan.
Yeah, good. Sorry I didn't show up for the show last night. I've had such a busy week at work, man, but I listened to it. It was good.
Over 2 years, yeah. It's very interesting.
Just him showing up with his it was like an Oscar mask on the desk, wasn't it?
More than 2 goals in an away game. Yes, we've conceded more than 2 in home games, but not away from home.
I know. It was good to see Brad in the stream thing. It's been a while.
Interesting, talking about the teams below Sunderland starting to play each other.
Hey?
Birmingham after the international break, and at the moment you've got
He has.
Rangers winning that game, further plunging Birmingham into.
It was a canny show. I was just honestly, I was knackered. I got to run to Heathrow Airport yesterday. It's just that's what it was. I was just absolutely, I was just shattered. I thought, should I get on live with my pizza? And I just thought, I don't know. I enjoyed just sitting back and watching you a lot.
Jack Colback has got the kind of red hair that if I'm allowed to lick the illusion for a moment, if you think of many people's favourite book, the J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, and the main character talks about his brother Ali and the kind of red hair he had.
You were talking about sweets and all sorts, weren't you?
So you won't have any problem knowing when Jack Colback's on the ball. And I imagine he probably wouldn't, even if his hair was the same colour as everybody else. It's just, you might well get a bit of stick from the crowd this afternoon.
I love a literary reference. Excellent. I was chatting
Friday night banter, man.
earlier on. He was setting up his gear, and I asked him what strip would Queen's Park Rangers be wearing today. My heart
Oh, I've been teetotal for
well, okay. I said that I hope you're okay.
17 years now.
Because the Sunderland numbers are impossible to read as well, so we're all in the same boat.
Nick, just before I go, can I make a totally
You what,
separate
mate?
point of what we're talking about? It was brought to my attention last night, I don't know if this is true, it was brought to my attention last night, you remember some...
How's things for you anyway? What's the crap with your job?
I was responsible for putting up blue plaques on the
Is it actually happening?
on the side of all the club's former grounds.
Is one up for Benno yet?
It's a matter of time.
Coming next.
Hello, Sean. How you doing, fella?
The one on the original ground
What does actually gardening leave mean?
has been taken away, and there were some pictures of it being, no longer being on the wall. I didn't have time to go down to have a look when I found that out before going to the under-18s match this morning. But after the match this afternoon, I'm going to have a drive along there before I head home.
Topsy T, good afternoon, mate. How you doing? Predictions 2-1 QPR win. I hope not. But hope I'm wrong, but that press conference yesterday was sold us right. I know. Sean says, I'll be better the day if we get 3 points, but I can't see, can you?
And if we can get it back,
Feel the same, Sean.
get it back, then I'm going to have to see if I can rustle up the money from somewhere to get a replacement.
Oh, is that how it is it?
Sad to hear that if it's true, and if anybody knows anything about it, I'm putting out an appeal here and now. Get in touch with me via the football club and let me know. And if somebody's got it and thinks, well, what am I going to do with it? I can hardly sell it, can I? And they just want to sort of bring it back, I'd be happy to receive it, no questions asked. And we'll get that valuable piece of club history restored as soon as possible.
Plain envelope. Just remind us again.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, if they just get in touch with the football club, or they can email me at historian@safc.com. I would love to know what's happened to it, and more to the point, get it restored as soon as possible.
And it was Blue House.
Blue House Field at Hendon,
yeah.
the one next to the Rich Carter Centre, and we need to get that put back as soon as possible, if indeed it has gone.
Excellent, Rob. Thank you
Cheers,
very much.
thanks very much, Nick.
Rob Mason,
All the best, gentlemen.
club historian, as he's just pointed out, with his email address. So if we could trace that plaque, that would be very good news indeed. Thanks, Rob. We'll chat to Rob again in a couple of weeks' time when we are at Cardiff on Good Friday. Looking forward to that. Nice trip.
Nice
To
trip.
South
lovely
Wales,
trip.
your alma mater, where you're still
Just hope the lads can give us a bit of a pick-me-up today and get 3 points.
Sunderland fans, to be honest. Another long trip, but
I haven't yet. No, I've not long been in from the lads playing football and been getting set up. Hello, Doug B. Another game against low place team. Not a good record. That.
You know, you look at their team, Nick.
Is that what we're doing?
You know, starting from the goalkeeper. You know, and then you've got Don Colbert, Cook. You know, Slater.
Well, here's their team.
Isaac Hayden.
Yeah, Begovic in goal, 63 caps for Bosnia. Jimmy Dunn, we know Jimmy Dunn, he was here on loan, right back. Steve Cook, very, very vastly experienced 32-year-old centre-back. Nottingham Forest last season. Jake Clark-Salter didn't have a happy time here on loan from Chelsea, but he's been at Chelsea since until 2022 when he signed for Queen's Park Rangers. Kenneth Powell, Suriname international, albeit one cap, experienced 26-year-old left back. Jack Colback, we know all about. Isaac Hayden, as you say, and we heard from Connor from a Queen's Park Rangers YouTube channel last night on BBC Radio.
It's a mess, isn't it?
And he said he's been
It's an
outstanding for them since he signed. So again, you know, 28 years old, experience. Chris Willis.
It's like we're. If we were running a marathon, we'd be limping across the finish line towards the finish line with two broken legs.
Signed in the January window. Elias Chair, 12 Moroccan caps, 26 years old, and up front then.
That's what it's.
28 years old, 35 caps for Scotland.
Yeah, and you know, you just name them players there, the experience what they've got. And
I'll see what you're saying though. The bottom half of the table, like 6 or 7 down. I don't think they're going to do enough, are they?
And Isaac Hayden, who with their experience as well, and again from set pieces,
Is that a fact? Is it?
I just think again they will cause us problems.
Well, that was the issue. One of the issues at Southampton last week, set pieces. Something that Mike Dodds is very much mindful of. We'll hit Mike Dodds, as I say, before 3 o'clock this afternoon, a couple of occasions. The Sunderland team, just to recap, Patterson in goal.
Well, that's the way it's turned round, isn't it? It turned round from us talking about promotion to this.
Bradley Dack is back on the bench now. Mike Dodds suggested that he would be on the bench at Cardiff. He's going to play 2021s on Monday against Newcastle. It would seem maybe he's a little bit ahead of time, so if he does come on at all, it'll be only for a short burst at the end of the game, I suspect.
So, do you want us to do a ham and crisp sandwich? I can get the wife to make me something to eat. I'll get a slap on him.
So, you know, just those last 4 alone shows you what a young bench it is, let alone a young team.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
We just don't want to keep going on about the experience QPR have got.
Brown, thank you.
Good young players in Sunderland, and what we're looking for this afternoon, Nick, is plenty of energy. You know, again, you just think just go out there, express yourself, and just work hard.
Yeah, bookies still haven't got us down as relegation odds, like, so.
Just 2 defeats in the last 10 then for Queen's Park Rangers.
Wonder what they.
Last week home to Middlesbrough, but they've been on a good run and have done since Marty Cifuentes, I think is how you pronounce it, probably don't, is their new coach, 41-year-old Spaniard who arrived in October. 24 matches he's been in charge, he's won 8, drawn 7 and lost 9, so fairly mixed bag, but certainly of late Queen's Park Rangers showing some form at the right time to try and pull away from the bottom 3.
What's up with Rusin?
Newcastle United at Manchester City in the FA Cup. Coventry are already through. They've beaten Wolves this lunchtime 3-2. We'll hear from Mike Dodds before kick-off, but now we're going to get a comprehensive roundup of all weekend sport, and that comes from the comprehensive.
I think we've maybe been a bit harsh on Sunderland, the fact, like, because they have had a run of really difficult games, haven't they?
In the championship game, Swansea have beaten Cardiff 2-0 in the South Wales Derby. 3 o'clock, Birmingham, Watford, Ipswich versus Sheffield, Middlesbrough versus Plymouth, against Preston, Rotherham take on Huddersfield, Stoke versus Norwich, and West Brom versus Bristol City. As Nick has mentioned, a shock already in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Coventry beating Wolves 3-2, scoring 2 goals stoppage time in the 97th and the 90th. No, not 90th, 90 plus 10th finish there. So Coventry through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Newcastle will be hoping for a shock as well this afternoon. They're away to Manchester City at the Etihad. The Magpies head coach Eddie Howe says his side how will it
Cabby Hard game today. My next door neighbour is a Harden QPR supporter, so there could be windows getting put out there for you, Gordon. Topsy, thanks again for setting up the stream. You're welcome, Topsy. Makes my time at work go quicker. You're welcome. You're welcome, mate. Sean Russell, Cabby, the squad's too young. And it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Somebody's just said about the team news on their social media. 66-1. Himia breaks into a sweat. Someone just said on the socials about the squad. Himia breaks into a sweat. 66-1.
Newcastle head coach Eddie Howe there talking ahead of Newcastle's trip to Manchester City in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Our build-up start from 5 o'clock straight after the Sunderland match against QPR and then kickoff at 5. Yeah, just a reminder you can listen to the Saturday on ABC Sound.
I know. Viv73, hi Cabby. I can't see us winning any more games now, but I would love to be proved wrong. Yeah, I know, wouldn't we all? Thanks for popping in, though.
You did hear that right. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, John. Yes, I'm in concert.
No, is it quite impressive?
Held up, but I've arrived, and can I see it? It's
They'll score 5 today then.
the last time I was going to come up here, 494, it was 3 inches of snow, and the game was called off.
Is it quite bad then? Their cute, is it their goal record?
Just explain though why Dunstan are playing.
Well, the league formed
Can pass them up?
March.
I'm crippled.
Can you put that fire stick back in the telly, son? Did you take it out before?
I didn't take it out.
Problems with their brain.
It's there.
Have you unplugged it, the power?
No, it's there.
Sorry, Anth, what was that, mate?
Oi.
Played a game already here, and last week they had to play Belmar away. It's just hard to understand. I've been to the ground and seen the pitch. It's not too bad at all. But the league said no games till March. And I need people to help them in concentrate.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
It's really affecting them. They're doing very well. The top of the table.
Unbelievable. John McDonald, the manager, and I think the team has responded. What the problem is on the pitch.
And the day it's down to us, isn't it?
Players are healing, but they've got a very good team, John. They're in second place in the league, and they very much want to be.
Oh, they've been hovering around there for most of the season, haven't they, man?
Well, you're right. Liam Noble.
Yeah, they're just nailed on, aren't they?
Joined the club from Morbid. Is putting a stamp on his form there. He scored last game. He's a very, very good player and a good.
He's playing Italy and Wales.
Having not playing exceptionally well, and takes them beating at home. They really do, John.
That fire stick's not turning on. Have you definitely plugged it in right properly, Caden?
Does it have to be in a certain plug?
Let's have a look, 'cause it's just not turning on. Have you actually plugged it in?
It's probably not in a little bit.
Well, they could do with a win today down at Grimsby. Not easy place to go.
Is it working now?
With a point if they can bring that back. No.
Actually, we called East concert last week in a bit of a local derby.
That's it, good lad. Hey, did you enjoy your dad playing football with you today?
Yeah. Daddy,
Well, they did. I mean,
you should have to join the football course and you should get a key. And you can bring us down to training and open the goals.
I know. I know.
The mid-table would just like to finish the first season in the league. Finishes
So
high.
Topsy T83, no luck mate, awful run, especially teams we played have needed points at both ends of table, and it's ridiculous the situation with injuries. Man U were spot on, mind you, you spot on with your analysis of the video. Mate. Yeah, thanks, Topsy. Sean says, glad to see you wearing the badge. That should never have been changed anywhere. Oh, God, I love me retro stuff, as you can tell. Thanks for the team news thingy. Yes, mate?
From Derby, who's only 18, scored 4 goals, and he's absolutely flying. But I think we must say well done as well to the vice captain, Ed Francis, who's been picked for England C. I've seen a lot of them this season. And
Paul, was you at the Southampton game, was he?
Wonderful player. And the other good news is, Dom, is that Greg Ollie could be, who's the club captain, could be on the bench today for Gateshead. Be terrific.
Well, obviously it is their choice, but you've paid your money. At least get your money's worth and stay till the end, whatever the score is. It's like you know, why pay for the game and not get your money's worth?
In National League North, South Shield are away to Buxton. South Shield, of course, they seem to be a bit inconsistent, but they themselves could still get into the playoff places themselves, can't they?
Well, they certainly can. They win one, lose one, and that's been their form all season. Not an easy place to go, Buxton, but if Shields can get a win there today, that'll push them towards.
I know. Well, you purchased, you spent some money, purchased a full minute. It's the worst film you've ever seen. You've just knocked it off after 20 minutes.
For the Blythe fans, I mean, Southport, you're not playing really well, and are down there with Blythe. It's a real 6-pointer this afternoon. John Shorty going down there, hoping, well, and now he must get a win, John.
It's just a shame. I mean, all the effort travelling there. Well, even just going to the home games. I mean, you've got all the build-up. I mean, it's not just about you sitting at the stadium, but it's the pre-match build-up before. Rallying the lads together, even if it's just home games, going to the bars, having a bit of crack on. You know, your build-up starts from 10 o'clock in the morning. We've done it, as we all have. And for the sake of, 70 minutes worth of football and you walk out, it's mad, really.
Thank you very much. For now, Paul will give us updates throughout the afternoon for Dunstan versus kickoffs in the Northern Premier East Division. A couple of other things to mention in the Women's Championship tomorrow. Durham are at home to Charlton at 12 o'clock kickoff. Sunderland are there away to the London City Lions. That's it.
No.
Of the table, and then of course next weekend the River Weir Derby, Sunderland hosting Durham at Appleton. The Sunderland head coach Mel Ray says it's a big.
That was absolutely mental. The trouble was there, Wolves did a Sunderland then. The Wolves just thought they'd won that with 4 minutes to go. Yeah. We've just been too cocky. That's it, we've won that, lads. And I thought they'd won it. But just shows you to play it to the final whistle, mate. Ellis Sims scored 2.
Coach Mel Ray there. Sunderland against the London City Lionesses away tomorrow to kick off in the FA Women's National League tomorrow.
There's still mixed reactions from Sunderland fans whether he was good or not for you, like, but I would have him now. I would have him now in the squad from what we've got. Crikey.
Ireland are in pole position to retain their crown by avoiding defeat and gaining 2 bonus points against Scotland, which that one gets in the way. 4-5 in Dublin this afternoon.
Topsy T, I think it's too much pressure on the young guns. That's making them get injured. I know. Tony Huntington, hi. I'll just like the congratulate Speakman letting Ellis Sims go and not bothering to replace. Did you see how rubbish he was? All those hat-tricks and poor performances in the FA Cup. Sean, Topsy, you know this ain't working, so why do we persevere with it? My God, they have no sense, man. Gordon Seymour, I think Dak will get injured attempting to sit down on the bench. Dears is welcome to the chat, mate. I didn't see what you put there, mate, but welcome along. Topsy T says, I know, Sean, it's class. We've got some talent coming through, but means nothing without the experience. Headless chickens out there. Topsy T, what's your predictions today, Matt and Cabby? Oh, God's sake, I daren't see out. I'm going 2-0 QPR.
skipping ahead.
They're on a high QPR and our side's just a mess.
This evening, Wales are against
Topsy, you know, need more experience in the side. Can't see that, says Sean.
leading 11.
Don't know how true the rumours are, but
Ireland, as I say,
what about Miller coming like, but
4-5 and then
if it was, they were truly should have pursued that, absolutely. It was the same with Yaman Villa, isn't it? They should have got him.
the Newcastle Eagles.
When KLD took over, he said his plan was youth, but has to be adaptable. Of course it does, Doug.
77.
Topsy's also said, exactly Sean, I reckon we would have picked up a number of draws or even wins in this awful run if we had Pritchard, Bath and Gooch in the squad. So blatant how we are lacking, it's frustrating.
Clock that, so you rounded up with everything going on this weekend. It's time for us to head back to the Stadium of Lights to continue.
Tell you what, we're definitely missing players though, like the likes of Gooch, aren't we?
And Gary Bennett.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Robots want to take over the world, and so do cats. And now they're combining both of them. Robot cats are a thing, and it could spell the end of
It
humanity.
was just like sheep in a pen, wasn't it? To follow them.
I feel like I'd be in a good stance if that did happen, because I do like cats and I always say thank you to my Alexa.
No, Colette, you cannot win over an army of robotic cats.
Oh, Swansea beat
They'll just spend
Cardiff 2-0
turning
before.
their back to you and showing you their little metal behinds.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Had a game of football with the boys today. Was what?
I've been watching Dan Ballard in the
2-0.
pounding around like a gazelle. I hope I'm
doing
not
that in the
tempting
game.
fate.
Had a game of football with the boys this morning. I was training with them before their game. The first time I've like had a kick about football in about 10 years.
They're doing a heading routine of the back four across on the far side of the pitch at the moment. Let's hear the first part of the Mike Dodds interview I recorded yesterday with the interim head coach. Apologies for my
Lads didn't got heavily beat today, but I look very tired today.
sounds like I'm in
For some reason, I don't think they'd had the week to Bix. But it's all experience for them. Do you know what I mean?
apologies for that. You can still hear the questions. And here
Don't
is,
take it too serious at that age, for goodness sake. I'm 12.
There's no injuries, no. So, yeah, look, I've been at the football club, what now, is it 2 years? Just over 2 years. The 2 years I've been here, I've never experienced the kind of, I won't say bad news, I'll try and put a little bit of different spin on it, but the kind of
Tony Hunton. It's alright, Topsy, we missed the experience, even if they played every other game. We started off, innit? Lost Bath, Wright, Gooch. So, you know, there's 3 big players straight away.
continue to work as hard as I can with what I've got.
Where
Yeah, Dan, it's not as bad as first period. Dan's been obviously wrapped up in cotton wool all week. It's a real difficult one. I think what we're going to do with Dan is leave it to the very last minute, just based purely on our circumstances.
Left back, I thought he was more attacking minded style.
And how severely light we are. So with Dan, we're going to leave it to the very last minute in terms of making a decision on whether he's fit, whether he's not fit, do we take the risk. So there's a few kind of moving parts to that one at the moment, which is difficult at the moment in terms of whether he's.
There's a 6-pointer between Rotherham and Huddersfield today.
Yeah, he felt a tweak to his hamstring. Obviously, to fair to Dan, he did try and carry on. You know, he didn't kind of throw the towel in, and then ran back on. Came back in. Obviously, my initial gut, I feared the worst. I'll be completely honest with you.
How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, everyone.
I've sat here previously and said around Jack, and Jack will be back after the weekend, and then I get the news that it's going to be significantly longer. So I've been overly cautious with it, but he seems fairly positive. The physios are fairly positive. We've had to wrap him up in Cornwall, and I think ultimately with Dan, if we had a fully fit cohort, you probably maybe wouldn't take the risk, but I think the situation we're in at the moment, we're going to give him every opportunity.
And then you get the bad news about I didn't see during the game.
May I?
I feel like I don't know what I've done to deserve this, but Jensen played 90 minutes, was fine, no worries or concerns, absolutely nothing. Woke up the next morning.
How are you doing, Mackham down south? How are you doing? Welcome.
Believe it. This is what's happened. Jensen went to see a specialist on Tuesday or Wednesday. They're still not sure on the time frame, but his season's finished. They're waiting. They're going to make a decision in the next 14 days in terms of how they're going to go about his treatment, because there's so much swelling around his knee. But I mean, I just don't really know what to say to people, because it just seems to be one thing after another at the moment. Played the full 90 minutes, completely fine. Just woke up the next morning, knee had swollen up, couldn't put any pressure on it. Came in, went to see a specialist on Tuesday, because obviously the physios were uncomfortable with what it looked like, and the specialist said, yeah, that's unfortunately that's his season done. We're hoping that it's positive news in terms of the next 14 days, that he'll be back for pre-season. The worst case scenario will be a considerable amount of time out.
I hesitate to ask, but is that the end? Is there anything else like any other issues?
Yeah, we've got one more. Naz. Naz is he picked up a knock during the game.
Well, there's always a positive way to look at it.
So he
should have plenty of energy.
Again, in terms of time frame, he won't be available for tomorrow. In terms of time frame, again, we're waiting on people that are a lot more qualified than I am in terms of the time frame on that. He could be back within the next week.
That's as much as what you could do. Like it's a typical patchwork quilt thing, isn't it? It's we're just going to get behind them, whatever shows up, whatever team comes out there. I just want to see just something happen for Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be pivotal. I just want to see a little bit of oomph in that. I mean, I just hope it didn't again go behind early, because I think the young lads, as their heads drop. I just, you know what I mean. They need to be kept in the game for a while, but if 5 or 6 minute goes and QPR get a goal, then the young heads just fall, don't they?
I don't think I can hide the back four, if I'm honest, unless I'm going to do something ridiculous and put an attacking player at the back, which I don't think I'm going to do. Yeah, look, I'm not laughing about the situation, because I understand where the club's at. I understand the severity of, we've got to win games of football. But like I've said previously, I think since I've taken the team, personal perspective, I can see the kind of through the trees a little bit with the cards that I've got at the moment. That doesn't help the fact the results. That doesn't help the kind of loyal support that we've got. I appreciate that doesn't help, but unfortunately we just are where we are at the moment. That's not helping anyone. That's definitely not helping me. Believe me, that is definitely not helping me. But there's nothing to do about it, so I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to keep working.
You need that Lee Catton or that Kevin Ball type of a player in the dressing room, don't you, or on the pitch, to keep telling them this.
And we have to come through this period, and we will come through this period, and we'll be stronger for it.
Today, let's have a look again.
From the Stadium of Light, BBC Radio Newcastle.
Fighting talk from Mike Dodd.
He's bashing the Bishop, isn't he?
Reminder.
Yeah, I would say a Man Mountain Ballard, isn't it? I would definitely say. Yeah, good shout.
Personal one-on-one with you. Is that breaking? Do you like that?
That is breaking news.
Should we do that? Should we break new ground here with your own personal phone in?
I tell you what, it's like when I think which overruns on the TV.
It depends on the result.
If
it goes well this afternoon,
the news doesn't come on.
Yeah, if it goes well this afternoon, the people won't.
Just seeing that Clark, Salter and Colback are in the team. One of them will probably score against us, probably Viv.
Between 5 and 6.
Boys!
We are.
Will's here.
Anyway, there'll be the build-up to Newcastle's FA Cup tie at Manchester City from 5 o'clock this afternoon. Ray Ronaldo, Etihad.
What are you doing?
BBC Radio Newcastle.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not at all, eh?
Styles
going out? Is he coming in?
Ashish comes in at number 10. Amir is up front. And there are 2 changes as well for Queen's Park Rangers. Lyndon Dykes comes in for Michael Fry. And Isaac Hayden, who's on loan from Newcastle, comes in to midfield in place of Sam Field. Next to Jack Colback. What sort of reception is Jack Colback going to get?
And do you think
Let's
he'll
close
pick a
that
yellow
fan
card?
down, Bill.
I think he will. Will he pick up a red card?
He did last time, didn't he?
He did at Loftus Road, yeah.
At Loftus Road.
Well, I can muscle on with.
That's very long in that game. I think he's mindful of it. I'm told, as I said, I was chatting to the Queen's Park Rangers analyst. Apparently, it was a topic of conversation. Jack Colback's return.
But then again, Nick, if you look at their experience, which you've got in the middle of the park, you know, you've got a little bit of know-how, what to do, what not to do, how to get at them, how to, shall we say, wind them up.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, that's, you would use that, wouldn't you? I mean, that's what players do. I mean, it's just all part and parcel, isn't it? So we'll see how that unfolds this afternoon when the game kicks off. The PA has been, they've got new speakers or something.
They've got new speakers?
Yeah, we'll find out when they hang out the tunes when the teams come out in a few minutes' time.
At least we've got new speakers and not a new strike, yeah?
I don't know if that's 100% either.
Okay.
So let's just not take that as absolutely concrete. It possibly is.
Well,
possibly the case.
Wait to listen to the quote.
Indeed. Let's see if we'll actually more than that. Wait to see if we can actually understand what's being said. It's been the problem in the past. The sun is still out. The forecast was it.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
This afternoon, but at the moment,
Mandy Blackett, watching from Tenerife. Send some sun over here. Welcome and thanks for joining, Mandy.
We critical that they don't concede an early goal. That's right. Don't concede. Start on the front foot. See if we can get the first goal. You know, get at them. You know, ask questions.
Indeed, I think that's absolutely vital this afternoon. Let's hear some more from Mike Dodds. I asked him if, with all the injuries and all the problems that he's having to deal with since he began his latest role as interim head coach, I asked him, are the club's ownership, are those above him, well aware of the restraints that he's having to work with at the moment?
I hope so. Look, as I said after the games, what will happen in 12 months' time, people won't appreciate the context. So that in the last 4 games, they won't appreciate the context. They'll just see Mike Dodds lost 4 games.
Oh, hold on. Is that better?
But I think anyone...
Yeah, is that better? Is that better? Okay, okay.
Some circumstances that have been really difficult to manage. We've played 2 teams in Leicester and Southampton.
Oh my God, it was going well, wasn't it? It was going well.
We've played Leicester and Southampton as the youngest team in NFL history and the 3rd youngest team in NFL history, which is a positive. But on the same time, I don't think that's something that we really want. You know, it's been forced upon us in terms of players that are available. You don't want to go into those games as a head coach, with all due respect. You don't want to play Premier League budget, Premier League infrastructure. You know, both probably, you know, both would argue they're the best teams in the league for whatever they do, and then they pick in such a young team. You know, I will always back young players, but I think to have across the board so many young players is not an ideal. But like I keep going back to the point, I think we've got some incredibly good footballers at this football club. I think we've got some huge assets at the football club. At the moment we're going through a spell. The only way for us to get out of this spell is all of us sticking together, internally in particular, in terms of the staff, myself, players. And I'm quietly confident when the players start to trickle back into the group, to give the current club a little bit of support, things will start to turn and things will start to improve.
Yeah, I've sorted that.
Yeah, I mean, I've bumped into some fans down at the beach, and they're like, QPR, you know, it's China, the 20th, and, you know, they'll be lucky if they stay.
Greetings, SCFC Dreamers. How are you doing? Sebastian Greenwood, let's get to a good start. Hopefully the backline do well today, but yeah, let's get a win and be positive. Thank you everybody for coming on.
You know, having watched their games, they're a completely different QPR to the QPR we played earlier in the season. But like I always say, and I don't sound like a broken record, there isn't any easy games in this league, and we're going to have to be really, really good to get a result. players know that. I think we've prepared really, really well. Like we have been
I will be muting the commentary for just 2 or 3 minutes when the team's coming out, so I don't get done for the copyright.
We've got to double down on that bit and make sure that we give more than what they've got to give us.
Total Sport Northeast. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Interim head.
So there we go. I'm just putting the commentary on mute at the minute because it's playing the theme tune for the Knights of the Round Tables or something when they're coming out. So I can't be bothered with the editing and the copyright carry on. Yeah, the full-blooded Thunder. Why is bar starting, says Paige. I know, welcome Paige, welcome. SCFC Dreamers, let it be full-blooded and Thunder performance by the lads today is when they come of age as footballers. SCFC Dreamers, 18-year-old Bainbridge on the bench, first time the team is getting younger and younger. Sebastian Greenwood, you are top guy, thank you for... Oh yeah, you're top guy, thank you for doing YouTube, I'm a massive fan. Mentioned you in my podcast yesterday. Yeah, I'll have a look at that, your podcast stuff. Is it on your YouTube channel there, Seb, there? I'll have a look for that. Well, I'm going to put myself on mute now, so you could just hear the match, so I'm going to shut up right now.
When Sunderland beat Preston North End 2-0, I wonder if that's an omen.
I'm going to ask you a question here, Nick.
Go on.
What numbers have they got on the back?
They haven't got any numbers on their backs at the moment. They have now. Now they've taken their tracksuits off. You can't read them.
I'm talking about, QPR.
You can't read their numbers. Look, they've got red numbers on blue and white hoops. And it's akin to Huddersfield's the same, although they're blue and white stripes. Sheffield Wednesday as well. It's insane putting red numbers on the backs of stripes or hoops. You can't read them.
No.
Jack Colbag obviously stands out a mile. And you've just got to judge it positionally by the way that Queen's Park Rangers line up. I mean, Anderson stands out as well, the Dane, because he's got long hair tied back with an Alice band. Look. So he'll stand out. He's playing as the number 10. Chris Willock could be on the right, and Elias Chair, who's not the biggest in the world, on this near side. So there are identifying features, if you like, amongst the players. It's foundation of light day today, to wear your heart on your sleeve, and Sunderland will have the heart on there.
I was putting my stream on mute while they're singing I Can't Help Falling in Love With You. This music carry-on's a pain in the backside. Falling in love with you.
I'm not sure what attendance will be posted today, but there are a lot of empty seats around the stadium. Fair number from Queen's Park Rangers, has to be said, at the top of the north stand. But the rest of the stadium, there are a lot of empty seats. Can't disguise that as the game gets underway. Sunderland get the game underway, and Barr is immediately shoved back by Lyndon Dykes in the centre circle. The ball over on the far side with Hjelde, and back to Ballard. He plays it square to Hume. Hume, of course, with Ballard, selected for the latest Northern Ireland squad. Trey Hume in a video sporting Northern Ireland's new away kit this week, I noticed, having a starring role in that video as the ball bounces in front of Hjelde. It's played back to Dan Ballard in that shaft of sunlight that runs from the north stand down to the southeast corner, and Hume plays the ball into the middle to Jobe. Dykes is all over him. Jobe slips to the floor. The referee allows play to go on as the ball has come out to Hjelde on the left, on halfway, back to Ballard, and out again to Hume on this right hand side. Cut out by Colback as he tried to slip the ball through to Jobe. few boos, not many, for Jack Colback. It's a throw to Sunderland, just short of halfway.
Sorry, Nick. It seems as though they're playing 3 at the back.
Do you think that's a 3? Yeah. Yeah, with Mundle and Barr as wing backs.
Is it Styles?
Styles as wing back. There's a foul on Ballard. I'm just trying to cast my eye across.
Ballard and Hume. It seems as though it's the 3 and Mundle.
Well, here's Styles now on the left. Slips the ball inside to Neil, back to Ballard. I'm unconvinced at the moment.
They've gone back into a
4 now. Yeah. So is it a sort of flexible back 4, if you like?
Well, look at him now.
Now they're dropping back to a 3 here, as Dykes tries to get the ball off Kjelder down the left touchline to Barr. One back by Queen's Park Rangers. Willock lays it off here to Jake Clark-Salter, who remember had a spell here in 2018 on loan from Chelsea, as the ball comes back to Anthony Patterson, who's all in yellow. Rolls it out. He's defending the north end of the stadium in this first half. Sunderland attacking the Roker end. Out to Styles. Styles inside to Dan Neil. Anderson gives chase. It's played across to Hume here on the right. And Trey Hume plays it on now to Mundle on halfway, wide. Back to Hume. And Hume plays it back again to Dan Ballard. Across to Kjelder again. Styles has made a break forwards. He's effectively alongside Hamir at the moment as Barr tries to get the ball through to him, but it's won back by Chris Willock. He cuts inside here and lays the ball off behind to Jimmy Dunn. Out to Anderson, back inside then to Hayden, Isaac Hayden, who's on loan from Newcastle. He's playing in the middle alongside Jack Colback, and the ball slips out for a throw to Sunderland on their left, halfway inside their own half, into the 4th minute. 0-0 in the early stages of the game. A foul on Barr, another free kick to Sunderland. Well, in this 4 minutes they've not really got into the Queen's Park Rangers half at all.
No, and we're still trying to work out the formation, because at times Styles is pushed right on, isn't he?
Yeah, it was up front effectively. Willock back to Hayden. It bounces in the air for Hamir. He finds Styles, who leaves it for Aushish, and finally out to Barr. Barr is tripped, is he? Referee
That's a foul,
says
isn't it?
no and gives the goal kick. Looked like a foul.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Dunn is playing at right back, isn't he?
He is, yeah. It's done at right back. Steve Cook and Jake Clark-Salter are the centre backs, and Kenneth Powell is out here on the left. So Clark-Salter just taps the ball back from the corner of the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper, Asmir Begovic, in dark green, I think it is, green-grey goalkeeping kit, launches the ball up to the halfway line. Won by Dan Neil, who brings this forwards into the Queen's Park Rangers half to Aushish at the corner of the penalty area, down the left-hand side, crosses onto the roof of the net. Hamir in the 6-yard box, but appreciative round of applause from the Sunderland fans.
Yeah,
that little foray.
I've been impressed with Ashish when he's come on.
It's Colback now, it actually is getting roundly booed. Here he is again, trying to sweep the ball up to Lyndon Dykes. Comes off Ballard. It'll be a throw to Queen's Park Rangers in their blue and white hoops. Dykes has basically, I don't think he realised Chair was so close behind him. He thrust the ball back, nearly smashed Chair in the face with it. The ball eventually back to Steve Cook, the experienced centre half, out wide to Jimmy Dunn. Dunn, who was here briefly in 2019, didn't really play many games. And the ball breaks for a throw on the right now to Queen's Park Rangers, halfway inside the Sunderland half. And Jimmy Dunn is forwards to take it, the 26-year-old. And he needs a bit of help, needs a bit of support. Willock's pushed forwards, Anderson now pushing forwards. And he looks for Anderson, who gets away from Styles, crosses, and it's going to be headed out straight here to Colback, who tries to tee up a chance for Chair, I think. It's gone. It took a deflection, or Patterson got a hand to it. But Colback teed up Chair, and he smashed it goalwards, but it was not behind. That was an opportunity. Worked by Anderson initially, getting past Styles in the corner and pulling the ball back into the penalty area.
Yeah, this is one where we've got to make sure we pick up, concentrate here from set pieces here, Nick.
Anderson will take it. Chair is back down the line from him, and plenty of blue and white shirts. One in the Dykes and Willock in the 6-yard box. It's swept towards the near post, flicked across the face of goal, somehow headed out to Barr, who hooks it away. I wouldn't have said that was done with any great confidence by Sunderland, but they've got it clear as it bobbled about in front of Patterson in the 6-yard box. Could have dropped to anyone, but fortunately Sunderland get it clear. Begovic puts it right back up through the middle, headed away by Hjelde, and Aushish gets his head on it, but it comes back towards Ballard. He slips as he tries to clear it. Dykes has got hold of it. Chair is on his shoulder. Chair now down the left side of the penalty area, and Chair crosses towards the far post, nodded away by Styles, out to Aushish. It's straight back to Queen's Park Rangers, done though, down the right of the penalty area to Willock, and Willock now trying to work an opening. Hayden just behind him. Hayden out to Willock again on the right hand side. Styles in front of him. Willock now has Barr there with Styles. He pulls the ball back to Dunn on the right. Dunn will swing the ball into the penalty area. Job's clearance isn't the best, and it's back down for Hume to try and clear to Mundle, and looked like a foul, but it's a throw in the end. Parle seemed to take Mundle out, but the referee indicates throw. Mundle's having a discussion about the veracity of that with Oliver Langford.
I think that's one thing which we've seen in the last few games, Nick, is especially in that 18-yard box. At times we panic, our clearances are
it looks
very
like
panic,
panic, doesn't it? Looks like panic. It looks like nobody's expecting the ball to come to them, and they sort of last-ditched attempt to get the ball clear. The ball out again for another Sunderland throw down in front of Mike Dodds. His baseball cap drops now for Job. Colback tries to win it off him. It comes back to Hjelde, and he rolls it back to Patterson. As Rob Mason was saying in the build-up, Patterson's 100th consecutive appearance this afternoon, and Hamir's penalised for handball at the edge of the centre circle. In the 9th minute, Gateshead are away at Ebbsfleet this afternoon and are down to 10 men. Lewis Story been sent off for a professional foul. The ball comes back here to Begovic in the middle of the Queen's Park Rangers half, out to Clark Salter on the left-hand side here, and he plays it straight at Mundle. Out it comes in front of Martí Cifuentes, the Queen's Park Rangers coach, for a throw to the hoops. He was coaching in Sweden, Cifuentes, and appointed in October. The ball comes back to Hume. Hume back again to Ballard, closed down by Lyndon Dykes. Comes out wide, Chairs in front of him. He plays it in straight to the path of Anderson. Anderson tries to curl it in. Patterson saves it. Went down to his left and somehow bundled the ball away. Anderson's snapshot after it had been given away by Ballard. And that's a sort of self-destruct button that they don't need at the minute.
Inexperience, one thing which you learn, you do not pass it across your 18-yard box. Easily cut out.
So Anderson, a chance, but Patterson save. Still 0-0. Ball's out on the far side as a throw to Sunderland.
Straight away, Nick, you've noticed two things with Ballard, haven't you? He miskicked one in the 18-yard box
just earlier on, and then that
pass there. That's not Dan Ballard.
Is it nerves? What is it? Is that pressure starting to get to them now? It's Burnley 1, Brentford 0, and Brentford are down to 10 men. Here's Hume, drives one up through the right of midfield, and Mundle gives chase, but Begovic comes to the edge of his area and picks it up just as the ball breaks into the box. Out to Parle on the left-hand side. Chair now on halfway wide, and he plays it back to Clark Salter. Squares it in the middle to Cook. Cook wide to Jimmy Dunn. Dunn, closed down by Barr, comes back, cuts into midfield, rolls it across to Clark Salter here, and he will play it wide again to Kenneth Parle on the left wing, halfway inside the Sunderland half, goes round Mundle, slips the ball down the left, trying to find Chair. Humes read this, gets in front of the Moroccan, and the ball rolls behind for a goal kick.
Good defending here.
0-0 then in the 12th minute, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Patterson places the ball in the middle of his 6-yard line. Centre-backs on either side of the penalty area. Patterson kicks, looking for Hume here wide. Heads it on, finds Mundle, backs into Clark Salter, the ball breaks for Parle. And he's trying to lift it up through Anderson, but it's cleared by Ballard up to halfway, and Aushish, as ever, his socks rolled down, and Ballard slips the ball back away past Dykes to Patterson, who has to pass it out quickly to Hjelde, who plays it across to Ballard here, and Ballard gets it up to halfway. Aushish heads it on, but Clark Salter will head it back down the left, bounces to Hume, inside to Job. Job chased by Anderson, slips it to Neil. Neil back from Colback to Hjelde in the middle of the Sunderland half, and their red and white stripes, of course. Ebbsfleet 1, Gateshead 0. And Hume floats one up, looking for Hamir, brought down though by the outstretched left foot of Clark Salter, up to halfway, chested by Dykes, down to Chair, and now Chair wide on the touchline, slips it inside to Anderson, and Lucas Anderson finds Dunn on the right, breaking. Barr has to chase back, Dunn still has it. Barr trying to close down the Queen's Park Rangers player and knocks the ball out for a throw. 18 yards from the corner on the right, the throw for Queen's Park Rangers.
So you're looking at the way Sunderland are at the present moment. Look how deep Hamir is. You know, we've virtually got, what,
everybody's back.
Everybody's back.
That's Anderson from the throw from Dunn in the corner, comes off Styles, another throw to Queen's Park Rangers.
You know, Hamir doesn't need to be there, does he? Really?
No, not really. And he's not in it. I mean, Dunn's not going to do anything spectacular there, is he? Or Cook, I should say. And the ball goes out again for another Queen's Park Rangers throw on the far side. Quickly taken to Anderson from Dunn. Anderson on the touchline, tries to cross, comes off the back of Styles, breaks for Hamir here. He slips it back behind him, Job, and now Job looking for the run of Aushish down the left wing, but it goes out for a Sunderland throw, which is left for Styles to take, 10 yards inside the Queen's Park Rangers half. Finds Aushish, back to Styles, inside to Neil. Dan Neil, was he fouled? Yes, by Isaac Hayden. Referee has a word. Neil wanted to take the free kick quickly, the referee didn't. He's having a word with Isaac Hayden, and Neil will have to take that free kick again. 15th minute, Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Neil slips it forwards a few yards to Joe, back to Neil on halfway, across to Ballard here in his own half, to Hume. A few yards in front of Mike Dodds, forwards to Aushish, back to Hume, back to Ballard. Dykes closing down, played back to Patterson in the penalty area, and he plays it out wide on the left to Hjelde. Down the line, looking for Styles, has gone out. Bit of a lazy pass, and Styles is, I was indicating, play it inside, not outside. And
yeah, and also movement. You know, he needs options.
Done with a throw then for Queen's Park Rangers. 20th last season they finished, they're 20th in the Championship at the minute, but on a fairly good run of form. Here's Clark Salter. Hamir sort of closed him down. Parle, Mundle trying to get the ball off him, and Mundle forces Parle to put the ball out for a throw to Sunderland. Hume comes forwards and takes this to Job. Job, Colback goes to close him down, comes back to Ballard in his own half on the right.
He needs movement.
He's looking for Hamir, and Mundle is headed in the air by Parle. It comes down to him again, he heads it on, bounces away from Anderson and Job, comes to Dykes, he flicks it back up over his head. Humes heads it through the centre, Hayden tries to head it on straight to Job, and Dykes was straight on his case. Job keeps possession, plays it back behind into Ballard, and there's Mike Dodds pointing to Job to move forwards.
This is very static, Nick. Look.
Here's the forward ball from Hume, headed away by Parr, up to Colback, now out to Chair, but Hume does enough to get the ball to Ashish, and now Ashish just lays it off to Job again in his own half, back to Dan Ballard, and you can sense the frustration.
Yeah, frustration.
Can you hear it?
Go back,
it's quite
they're saying,
obvious.
Well, where's the options we've got?
Now here's Ashish, out to Mundle on the right wing. Mundle pile in front of him. Mundle going to take him on, going to try and cross, and he has. He's thrown himself at it, Styles, but it's not made contact. It's come back out to Neil, and now Job in the middle, and back to Hume. And Hume out to Mundle again. It's an outlet. Can he get the ball back in again? Mundle trying to cut inside, plays the ball behind him to Ashish. Back again to Hume, to Job in the middle of the Queen's Park Rangers half. To his left is Dan Neil. As you say, they need movement at the moment. It's a bit static. It comes back to Neil from Barr, plays it inside. Colback wins it, gets it back. Ymir tried to get on the end of it. Chair gets it away. It's a chase between Dykes and Ballard here. Ballard gets the ball away from Dykes and plays it back in front of the striker to Patterson, who passes it out to Gelder. Gelder brings this out. Now looking for the run of Hamir down the left. On his shoulder is Cook. Hamir brings it down wide. He's going to take him on, trying to slip past Cook. He can't. Cook slips the ball out straight to Styles. Inside to Ashish. He let it run through, knowing Mundle was coming up behind him. But Queen's Park Rangers get the ball away. Barr out on the left-hand side now, trying to cut inside past Willock, but it's won back by Anderson. Anderson now for Queen's Park Rangers. Slips it to Parl, back to Cook. Cook at the edge of the penalty area looking for Willock on the right wing. He brings it down in front of Styles, and Styles trying to tackle him, pulls him down. Free kick to Queen's Park Rangers on the touchline. 18 minutes played, 0-0. BBC Radio Newcastle. Here is Dunn to take the free kick, just back in the Queen's Park Rangers half. Ipswich Town 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And the ball crashes off Ashish as Hayden tried to play it out. Comes back though to Cook, across to Clark Salter, and he plays it wide again to Parl, inside to Chair, lays it back behind him to Colback on halfway, and then back again to Clark Salter, out wide to Parl, inside to Jack Colback. Chair again back to Parl inside his own half, and slips it inside to Clark Salter, and then out wide Dunn gets the ball down the touchline, looks for a handball. I think he was appealing Dunn to the assistant, but play goes on. One back here by Queen's Park Rangers with Colback. He swings it out to Chair on the halfway line on the left, taking on Hume, and wide he goes. Hume tracks back with Chair. Chair now, Mundle's there, and they win it back between them, Mundle and Hume, and a little interchange of passes, and Hume tackled by Anderson, fouled by the Dane, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. Now Job trying to get the ball off Colback, who drops it in the end, and Ballard will take the free kick just outside the penalty area, the Sunderland penalty area, and he passes it back to Anthony Patterson. Plays out to Hjelde on the left edge of the penalty area, through to Dan Neil now, forwards of him. Dan Neil again forwards to Barr on halfway, comes back into the Sunderland half, then slipped across to Hume on the right hand side, and forwards to Mundle on the right wing. Mundle at the moment seems the most likely of players to deliver something for Sunderland in the penalty area, but they've gone left again now. Ashish, one touch through to Barr, is offside. He's played on, and Begovic has saved his shot, but it's a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Quickly taken. Played on up to Willock here, on the shoulder of Callum Styles. Styles trying to block him from getting forwards. It finds Job, and now Neil. Neil out wide to Barr on the touchline. He's got to come in past Dunn, slips it inside to Ashish at the corner of the penalty area. He's forced wide again. Back to Barr. on the touchline. Behind him, Ashish, and Ashish loses it. Willock loses it in turn, but it's won back by Anderson from Neil. Anderson and Dykes against Hjelde and Ballard. Job trying to come back on Anderson, forces him to play the ball wide to Willock. Willock now slips the ball into the middle to Jack Colback, who's in space on his own. Pulls it down and wide to Anderson again on the right. Willock on the overlap. Here's the cross, cleared by Hjelde, out to Dan Neil. Neil in the centre, rolls it to Mundle now. Mundle, Hamir's making a run forward. He's got to stay on side. He's off at the moment. Mundle's trying to take it through, blocked by Clark Salter and played to Chair. Simple enough challenge for Clark Salter to execute. And Chair now under pressure from Hume plays it back to Parle inside to Colback. And Colback just plays it back away from Hamir to Clark Salter. Out wide again to Parle inside to Colback. Just in the Sunderland half. Anderson in the centre circle plays it back to Clark Salter. Forwards again to Chair. 0-0 still. Anderson looking for Colback. Neil tackles him. Colback appeals. Neil's trying to lob the goalkeeper onto the roof of the net from the centre circle.
Great vision.
Good effort.
Great vision. Unlucky.
Begovic was a long way off his line, but not quite enough accuracy. 0-0 then in the 23rd minute, a quarter of the game played. Couple of half chances. Neil rolls the ball here to Hume. Hume down the right again.
He wants a runner.
Mundle back to Hume.
He needs movement.
Hume looking for Ashish down the right, takes it on his chest, brings it down, pushes it off and behind for a corner. Clark Salter felt it came off Ashish. Still arguing the case, but the assistant and referee give the corner.
And that's what they're lacking. They're lacking options, Nick. You know, it's something which we touched on. You need to run.
Yeah, have a go. Put pressure on the defenders. Ashish with the corner on the right, southwest corner, Roker-Ren. Mundle's down there as well. And here is the corner kick, swept in. Ballard was he leapt at it, but it's swept past him. It's come out in midfield to Dan Neil. He lays it off to Mundle, down the right again to Ashish. He puts the ball back in the penalty area. Ballard was being climbed all over. Cook's appealing it was a foul on him. Now Ballard has stayed up for the cross from Barr, but the ball floats into the hands of Begovic. It's still 0-0, 24th minute. Sun is hanging on. And those lucky enough to be sitting in its warmth in the east stand. Down the left here, Parle. He plays it back inside to Chair, back to Cook. Closed down by Barr. Begovic just to lift it away quickly because Barr leapt at him. It comes out to Colback. He's under pressure here from Hamir. Colback is fouled by Hamir. Takes the free kick. He'll have to take it again. Rolling ball, says the referee. Well, Hamir's brought into the narrative there. Free kick then, which Begovic takes out to Colback here on the left, inside the Queen's Park Rangers half. Back to Clark Salter. And then across on the far side to Dunn. Brings the ball down. Closed down by Barr. Forwards now to Willock. Under pressure from Dan Neil, who's all over him, and Willock slips it inside. Dunn survives one challenge, gets the advantage from the referee after the attempt to trip him. He gets the ball back from Anderson. He's in the penalty area. He's on the edge of it now and finds Anderson down the right of it to Willock. Willock on the right. Willock looking to weave his way in, still trying to come in past Styles, and Willock turns, curls the ball over the top for a goal kick. Good defending from Styles, stuck at it, wouldn't allow Willock any space. Stoke 0, Norwich 1. Stoke, one of those teams in a precarious position, 41 points, just 3 points above the bottom three. Norwich, of course, in 6th place going into this afternoon's games. Hjelde taps the ball to Patterson. Patterson drives this out wide on the right-hand side to Hume, takes it on his chest, plays it off Chair, who's appealing for the throw, and it's given.
Yeah, come off him, Alec.
It must have just flicked off Hume.
It did.
And Parle has this throw next to Mike Dodds in the Sunderland half. 0-0 in the 26th minute, BBC Radio Newcastle. And
where's he going?
Paul, it's going to be...
He's walked 10 yards.
The referee hasn't chivied him along. Comes back now to Hayden. He survives the challenge. Throw again to Queen's Park Rangers. Paul being ushered back 10 yards by referee. In fact, he just lobs the ball then from the throw to Chair, ignoring the referee, and it's back to Cook. Across to Dunn on the far side, inside the Sunderland half. It looked like it had gone out from where we're sitting, but the flag stays down. Willett cuts inside, plays it back to Cook. Cook in the centre circle, squares it here to Clark Salter, and now out wide to Parle again inside the Sunderland half wide, plays it inside to Hayden, now through to Chair. He curls the ball in just round the post. Head in his hands, he's furious with himself. Patterson, I think, had it covered.
Yeah,
I think.
And we spoke about Chair, didn't we, before?
There's a threat.
Yeah. Clever player. Busy.
So, another chance goes begging for Queen's Park Rangers. The ball won on halfway by Hayden from Barr to Willock. Willock now, Barr tracks back, Willock lays it off to Anderson, and Anderson, support behind him from Dunn, will cross.
Yeah.
Jobe heads it away. Anderson's got his eye on it, nods it down to Colback, who nods it on again straight to Yelder.
Nothing.
And it's lobbed up to Hamir, and Cook heads it away comfortably. Straight to Aushish. Aushish through the middle. Aushish still going. He tries a shot after a challenge on him.
He's done
it's a
well
corner.
there.
He's got caught on
Isaac
the ankle by
Isaac
Hayden.
Hayden did excellent there
to get
recovery.
back, and just as he shot here, got caught by Hayden to steer the ball just wide of the post for a corner. Aushish whipping up the crowd. And Adel Aushish comes down here into the right corner to take this, the second corner for Sunderland in the game. In the 29th minute now, Mundle just behind him. Neil in midfield, Hume back in the centre circle or at the front of it. Aushish then, briefly, two arms raised. It's a high, deep one. So deep it went out. That's a waste. Stoke 0, Norwich 2. Yes, I mean, this is, you get opportunities, set pieces like that. Surely you've got to do better, haven't you?
Yeah, so frustrating.
It is. It's not as though he hasn't got any run-up. So the ball tapped back from the corner of the 6-yard box to Begovic by Clark Salter, and out then to Cook. Amir goes across the front of him. The kick downfield goes out. Foul on Neil by Dunn. Dunn's appealing that, but the referee's not going to change his mind. Styles will take the free kick. Swings it across the middle to Ballard. Ballard, edge of his area, brings this out and plays it down the right wing. Aushish taps it on now for Mundle. Tries to sweep it past by Clark Salter, sorry. Fouls Clark Salter. And it's a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Mundle's unhappy about that. Good old bit of argy-bargy, but that wasn't allowed. And Clark Salter limps back on the pitch and carries the ball back to take the free kick. Crowd not happy. Half an hour nearly played. It's 0-0. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Begovic comes out to take the free kick on the left here. Michael Proctor in the ear of the fourth official, Matt Corlett. The players grouped on this near side, either side of the halfway line, the majority of them in the Sunderland half. The ball follows suit, headed away by Ballard. Mundle going up for it with Parle. Out it comes for a Sunderland throw. The ball just flicked in the air by Mike Dodds and caught. Hume will take the throw just in front of Mike Dodds, and he's looking for some movement, finds Aushish, and handball. Free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Colback plonks the ball down, finds Anderson just to his right. Anderson back to Cook in the middle of the Queen's Park Rangers half forward to the Dane again, and he lays it off to Clark Salter. Colback, Clark Salter, wide to Parl, back to Clark Salter, looking for Dykes, tries to flick it inside, but Hume hooks it away. Hamir and Clark Salter pulling each other apart. Hamir goes down, and a free kick to Sunderland. He's getting in and about them, Hamir.
Well,
he's roughing them up.
That's what he needs to do, doesn't he?
So
let them know they're in a game.
Yeah. Is Mundle back to Hume, inside to Joe slightly. That's a slip slightly, Joe, but he did enough to get it away from Colback. Back to Ballard, out to Hjelde. Inside again to Neil, just in the Queen's Park Rangers half. Drives one through, looking for Mundle's run, but it's a little bit too overhit. Spins away from Mundle behind for a goal kick. 32nd minute. Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
You know, Emir's playing against a lad, Steve Cook. One thing which he does not want to do is run. So you play on his shoulder, running the channel.
He's 32 years old.
Exactly.
Too old to be running.
You know, he's a young lad. He wants to say, put it in the channel all the time. Get him turned.
Begovic with the kick wide right, looking for Willock here, but back from Styles to Patterson, out to Hjelde, under a bit of pressure, but he gets it to Ballard, now to Hume, and Hume through to Mundle. Mundle again, Hume's trying to make an advanced run. It's come back to Mundle, now Ashish. Hayden makes a half-ditched tackle, but it comes back to Job. Job to Ashish again, down the right here now to Hamir. Hamir on the right wing. He slips it inside to Mundle, but showed too much of it to Hayden. Out to Chair on the left. Ashish has to chase back. Out comes Hume across the front of the Moroccan and puts the ball out for a throw to Queen's Park Rangers in the 33rd minute. Half-time will be at the Etihad with Colin White ahead of the 5:30 kickoff this afternoon. Newcastle away at Manchester City. Full commentary. It's on BBC Sounds as well this afternoon. The FA Cup quarter-final at Manchester City. As Begovic puts the ball wide here, it's kept in by Jimmy Dunn and played down the line to Anderson, and inside now to Cook. Hamir is on his shoulder, but Cook swings it out to Parl on the left. Forwards to Chair, back to Parl. Parl out to Chair again on this left wing. Back inside to Colback. Colback through to Hayden, back to Colback, and it's interesting, Hayden's barely getting no boos at all. He's in Newcastle United. He is technically a Newcastle United player. Colback's being booed roundly every time he touches the ball, and we all know why, and it comes as no surprise. Is Clark Salter brings the ball out here now and looks up and will play it long, looking for the run of Dykes. Ballard cuts across and puts the ball out for another throw to Queen's Park Rangers. Parl hops over the advertising board to recover the ball and will take the throw just in front of Mike Dodds. Now Sheesh keeping a careful, wary eye on Colback, and the ball drops to Chair. Mundle's on his shoulder. He slips it away past Hamir to Cook, and Cook plays it back to Begovic, the Bosnian international, 63 caps, plays it wide to Jimmy Dunn. Down the line to Chris Willock. Willock comes back here now, on halfway on the touchline to Dunn, battles to get it to Willock. Willock now managed to dig it out from Styles, tried to get it through to Anderson, blocked though by Hjelde, but it comes back to Willock. Willock still trying to get down that right wing with Anderson. Willock's on the floor, Anderson's on the floor as well now. Willock's quickly got himself back on his feet and crosses here, and is headed behind by Job with Colback on his shoulder. It's a second Queen's Park Rangers corner, and this will be from the right. Luton 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Anderson will take the corner. Lucas Anderson.
You can make sure, you know, Clark Slater, Cook, Hayden, you know, all these, we've got to make sure that we man mark.
They're all around the penalty spot, apart from Willock, who's at the back of the penalty area, but he's sort of joined on the end of those players a little bit further forward. Now they make the break forwards. The corner swept in by Anderson, headed high in the air by Cook, I think it was. It's come right back up to Parl in the centre circle as they get it clear this time with a little bit more certainty, if you like. Sunderland, a little less panic that time. Powell plays it out wide here to Willock, who's on the left now. In front of him is Hume. Willock slips it inside to Cook. And Hamir whips across the front of him, knocks the ball away, but straight to Chair. And Chair now looking for Anderson, swings it across the pitch. And Anderson brings it down in front of Callum Styles. Styles just tugging him on the back. He slips it inside to Colback. Colback back here to Hayden. Hayden to Dunn. And Dunn on the right, back inside to Hayden. Closed down by Al-Shish, but he turns away from him, Hayden, and plays it back to Clark Salter on halfway. Down the left wing, Willock. He stayed wide on the left. Behind him is Parl. Plays it back again to Clark Salter in the 37th minute, 0-0. And here's Cook floating one up through to Anderson at the edge of the area. It bounces away from him, pulls it back here, and it's knocked behind. Is it for a corner?
Oh, no. Clever run by
Anderson,
Anderson.
I think it was on his shoulder, managed to make the block. The third Queen's Park Rangers corner. Anderson again.
No free headers.
Anderson just looking back as though he was having a conversation across to those Queen's Park Rangers players queuing up in the penalty area here. Colback steps back out into midfield.
Is there 4 of them and 3 of us?
In fact, there's 6 of them in the box.
3 against 4.
And the ball swept in low and easily cleared by Mundle. Only though to Chair on the far side. Chair looking to put the ball back in with his left foot. And it'll be Joe who heads it out. Straight though to Willock at the edge of the penalty area. And Al-Shish in front of him. Willock just trying to shake him off. Slips it back to Jack Colback on the left. He crosses. Hayden heads it on. Dyke's trying to get on the end of it here. Brings it down, but it's cleared by Hamir in the end for a throw to Queen's Park Rangers on the far side. And that was a little bit more hairy scary. But, he got the ball away. Throw taken by Anderson down the right of the penalty area. I think Cook stayed up. Is it Cook puts the ball into the penalty area? Gielda will clear this up onto the head of no, that was done underhead of Cook, who heads it down the right of the penalty area. Styles plays it away. Hayden heads it in the air. Anderson does likewise, and so does Dunn. Gets the ball forwards, and Ballard heads it away. Anderson stretches, leaps, goes down, got his foot on it, but straight to Neil. Gives the ball away to Cook, and now with Hayden again through the middle, tapped back to him by Chair, and now Hayden back to Cook. Closed down by Hamir, who knocks it away off Cook. Take him on, he just seems to stall Hamir, and Cook able to make the challenge on him. Why didn't Hamir just sprint away? He just seemed to lose all the energy in his legs.
To sprint away, Nick, you know what you'd need to do? Run.
He just seemed to stop. Did all the hard work, and then
you've got to run.
Stopped.
That's hard, you know.
I'm not imagining that, am I?
Seriously, it's hard to run.
40th minute, and it's still 0-0, but that was an opportunity that presented itself, but
he's got to run
now
again.
They've got another opportunity.
Hold on.
Brought down here on the left by Barr. Barr running at Colback, a couple of step overs into the penalty area. Barr blocked by Colback. It's a goal kick, says the referee. How Sheesh appeals to the assistant.
I'm just thinking as a striker, and I don't want to keep pinpointing him out, but you've got to run, haven't you? You know, Barr's got the ball, make a run. Even if you don't get the ball,
I think he was probably so shocked that he got the ball.
You might create an opening.
Begovic kicks long down the right. Willock is back out on that right hand side, leaves it for Dunn. Now Anderson, and calling for it through the middle was Chairs. Play back to Colback on the left of the centre circle, out to Paul, forwards to Chair here now, takes it left side of central midfield, tries to slip it past Job, who blocks it. Job comes out wide. Is he pushed to the back? Yes, says the referee. Chair was the player who just got his leaned into the back of Job. Job takes the free kick quickly back to Hume. Hume is urging players to make runs forwards, plays it inside to Neil. Neil just left of the centre circle in the 41st minute here now. Barr jogs back onside, but the ball comes back to Gielda. Gielda into the middle to Ballard. Ballard now to Hume, just to his right. Hume up towards the halfway line. Ipswich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. As Ballard in the centre circle, Dykes went to close him down, slips to Hume, Colback in front of him, he threads it through to Jobe, who plays it straight out to Mundle. Mundle back to Hume, Hume back again to Ballard in the middle of the Sunderland half, and he will dribble on and through now to Aushish, who lays it off again to Hjelde.
200 in the chat, fantastic. Just click that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks very much. Back to the commentary.
So then Ballard forwards to Neil again. Neil looking here for Jobe on the right in the Queen's Park Rangers half, slips it back behind him. Neil forwards to Jobe, across to Hjelde now on the left, and he's played it through the gap looking for Aushish just outside the penalty area. Goes down, no foul, and Willock will bring the ball out here, plays it now to Chair. Chair against Hume. Hume stabs at it, but Chair swings it on, blocked by Neil, but it breaks for Dykes. Looks for handball, the crowd, but the referee gives nothing, and eventually off Dykes, out for a throw to Sunderland. Shrewsbury 1, Carlisle 0 in League One. Here's Ballard at the back in the middle of the Sunderland half again to Hume. 43rd minute now. Here's Mundle on the right hand side, still awaiting our first goal. Mundle takes this on, but tackled by Chair, Parle, Hayden, Chair. Aushish goes to close Chair down on the left of the penalty area, played out to Hayden, out wide to Parle. Mundle goes to make a challenge. So Aushish gets the ball. Aushish takes it into the penalty area, slips it here in towards Barr. Barr trying to get it on his right foot. Blocked though by Clark Salter. The flag is up, and it's offside against Aushish. And a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Well, Ebbsfleet 1, Gateshead 1. Gateshead, remember, down to 10 men. And the pass, free kick taken by Begovic to Steve Cook, wide to Jimmy Dunn. Down the touchline into the Sunderland half. Finds Dykes wide down that side of the penalty area with Hjelde and Styles. The cross into the penalty area, bounces through to Hume to hook away to Mundle, who heads it in the air, looking for Aushish, cut out by Hayden. In the 44th minute here, 0-0. Here's Clark Salter laying it off to Parle, and he will play it down the left wing to Chair. Chair cutting inside, flicking it back behind him to Hayden. Hayden to Cook. Cook now forward to Colback again in the centre circle, and Colback will just play a short pass forward to Anderson. And then back behind Dunn. And Dunn has to come back, track back for that, and plays it back to Begovic, who swings his right foot through it out to Clark Salter, and he plays it up over the halfway line. Ballard heads it down to Jobe. Jobe back into his own half, into the centre circle nearly, then rolls it forwards to Aushish down the right. We're in the last minute of the 45. Looks for Hamir, headed away by Cook though, and then on to Colback. He gives it away to Styles. Barr down the left. He's got to come past Dunn. He's got his head on, goes down, free kick. And a yellow card for Dunn. First yellow of the game. And a free kick a couple of yards outside the penalty area on the left hand side. What a good time to score this would be for Sunderland. Now Sheesh will take the free kick. Barr is strolling into the penalty area. Mundle just outside the left corner of the penalty box.
Good time to score, Nick.
Yep.
But it's all about the quality of ball in.
Oliver Langford just marching back. Wants Chair forwards another yard. 1 minute of added time. Plymouth 0, Preston 1. We're into that minute. Preston on the fringes of the playoffs.
Good ball in, good target.
So Aushish from the left, then Birmingham 0, Watford 1. Aushish then one-man wall. That'll be effective. And Aushish curls this right over the top and behind. Bounces into row 5 of the Roker end. And another waste. 20 seconds left of the minimum minute. Begovic gets the ball back from a small ball boy. And jogs to the corner of his penalty area, 6 yard. But I suspect that when he kicks this ball, the whistle will blow for
You're hoping
half time. And so all the players, you could throw a rug over them on the far side.
Blow that whistle.
And Begovic, we're into the 2nd minute of added time, and the whistle is at the referee's mouth. And he heartily blows it. And the interval is reached with no goals, couple of half chances. Ballard giving the ball away to Anderson, who shot from 20 yards, and Patterson got down to make the save, scrambled the ball away. Chair from 24 yards, curled one round the right-hand post. The best opportunity for Sunderland was a lob from Dan Neil in the centre circle, but that landed on the roof of the net. Well, the one concession you'll give the first 45 minutes is they haven't conceded.
They haven't conceded. It's hard work. And again, you just think going forward with toothless, aren't we? And you're not asking for much. You're just asking for a little bit of movement. You know, somebody to make runs and stretch the defence, or try to get behind. And you just think if you're playing against somebody like Steve Cook, who, you know, is a seasoned pro, but one thing he doesn't want to do is be running the channels.
Well, it is an improvement, but
Hermir wins the ball off Steve Cook.
Yeah, again, no quality at all. First half poor.
Hermir just seemed to stop.
You know, I don't want to single out just a player, but you're just thinking that you just need a little bit more movement from.
Yeah, again, no quality at all in the first half, James. Very uneventful. So good in a way. Rusty Mackham and Grant. Can you press the thumbs up for Cabby? Come on, thank you very much, Rusty. Thank you.
But if that had been Rusin had made that tackle on Cook, I'm telling you now, he'd have been 15 yards away.
Yeah. But you know, you're just thinking it's difficult. It's hard work. You know, as a team, I think Dan Neil's been excellent in the midfield, and Bellingham has been excellent in there closing people down. But that's what we've got to do. We've got to work hard. But going forward, we need a lot more movement.
Indeed, the second half, of course, to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and safc.com. At the interval, it's Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. We're heading to Manchester, to the Etihad, and rounding everything up there for us this afternoon, Colin White.
Feel barriers breaking, earth shaking, sometimes nerve quaking, always intoxicating, accelerating, boundary breaking, totally captivating. Every tackle, breathtaking. Every try from every nation, reverberating. Feel every moment of the Six Nations. The Women's Six Nations starts next weekend. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Total Sport.
Yeah, we missed it, but got to 45 minutes of no bad news. Well, I suppose that's positive.
Welcome to the Etihad Stadium, but it is goalless at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0 at half-time in the Championship. But we'll be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of what will hopefully be a slightly more exciting and more goal-filled, if nothing else.
Are you guys
in about 10 minutes?
Are you guys ready for any half-time socials, or are you not that
through all the scores from the top divisions in England? We'll do some non-league. We've had plenty of late first-half goals in the games involving Gateshead and Blythe Spartans as well. And I'm going to have a chat with the former Newcastle United defender.
It's like watching a Simon Grayson Phil Parkinson team.
At Manchester City.
Is though she's sponsored by Elon Musk, with his balls constantly going into orbit. God's sake. Wondering why I bothered to get out of bed this morning. Could have had a few more hours. Is it really that bad? Utter rubbish, constantly crap, predictable. We're like a cardboard steamroller.
And for the second year in a row, there is a Championship side into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Couple of games in the Premier League that kicked off at 3 o'clock as well. Burnley lead Brentford by a goal to nil. It all happens in the opening 10 minutes of that one. Sergio Reguilón sent off for Brentford for a professional foul. Jakob Brun Larsen scoring the resulting penalty. Burnley 1, Brentford 0 at the break. And Nottingham Forest lead at Luton. Chris Wood, formerly of Newcastle, of course, getting Nottingham Forest goal 10 minutes before the end of the first half. So Luton 0, Nottingham Forest 1 in what is probably pretty close to a 6-pointer down the bottom of the Premier League. 2 5:30 games, of course. Fulham against Spurs in the Premier League.
Mikey Wilson's
City against Newcastle United.
Total Sport Northeast.
Mikey Wilson says it's a travesty from how far we were this time last season to how we are now. We have totally lost our identity.
Then the early kick-off was the South Wales derby. Swansea won it by 2-0 in the end, but only Jamal Lowe's 96th minute goal made absolutely certain Liam Cullen had got Swansea's other towards the end of the first half. In the 3 o'clock kickoff, then Watford lead.
At this stage, we'll take a point, says Doug. Moving on up. Hi from Fonzu, China. Welcome. Moving on up. How you doing? Ian Walker, welcome, mate. Never heard Ben Osai so much. You're pretty poor onwards and upwards. He's got a habit of doing that.
Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 0, Norwich they were 2-0 up at Stoke.
Ashton says, come on Sunderland if they win. I win my bet of £2 profit. Gonna spend it on the music, I think. Hahaha, bit of deicide. Get him, get a bit, Ashton.
Newcastle and Sunderland FC podcast. BBC Sounds.
Just let me know, Ashton.
Radio Newcastle.
Into League One.
Not serving half-time snacks, Matt and Kelly. Oh.
So to his derby against Bolton. Exeter they'll have a 1-0 lead over Burton Albion. Charlton scored very, very late in the first half to have a 1-0 lead away at Fleetwood Town. Alfie made penalty in injury time there. Lincoln City are 3-0 up on Bristol Rovers. Goalless between Peterborough United and Portsmouth. Oxford lead 1-0 away at Port Vale. Reading have just in the last minute or so gone 2-0 up on Cambridge United. Shrewsbury 1, Carlisle United 0. Carlisle cannot buy a win from anywhere. At 1-0 Daniel Udo with Shrewsbury's goal. Leyton Orient lead 1-0 at Stevenage. Wigan through Sam Smith are 1-0 up on Blackpool. And it's goalless between Wickham and Northampton.
Cheers for the subscriber now. 1,955. 45 away from 2,000 subscribers. That would be great to reach that.
Goal of the 3 o'clock kickoff, and they now lead 2-1 away at Accrington Stanley. Newport County also lead away from home. They're 1-0 up away at AFC Wimbledon. Goalless between Barrow and Harrogate, but Mansfield are now 4-0 up away at Bradford City.
No, Paul. I haven't got a cough. I just somewhat went down the wrong way there, but no, I'm feeling alright actually. A bit tired because I've had such a busy week at work.
MK Dons managed by Mike Williamson, 3-1 up on Crewe Alexandra. A couple in there from one from Stephen Wern, who they signed. I was going to say pinched, they didn't pinch him, they signed him legitimately from Gateshead in January. Doncaster Rovers 2-0 up away at Swindon, and finally in League 2 Tranmere lead 1-0 away at Wrexham.
Total Sport Northeast. Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into non-league, and I mentioned there have been late goals in the first half in games involving Gateshead and Blythe Spartans. They both now lead 3-1 away from home. So Gateshead first, away at Ebbsfleet United in the National League, were a goal and a man down after 8 minutes. Louis Story sent off, then Ebbsfleet United took the lead. But they have come roaring back, and Callum Whelan scoring twice in the last 5 minutes of that first half. So it's 2-1, I'm getting carried away, not 3-1, it's 2-1, and Callum Whelan scoring twice.
I know, Ashton, I've just checked the score, mate, at 1-0.
They lead at the break.
I bet you just can't wait for that season to end.
It's given them a 1-0 lead away at Buxton, and Blythe Spartans are
Carlisle's been terrible, hasn't it? Let's just thought we'll have a laugh. We'll have a laugh at the Portland tonight, won't you? Well, both of us.
Forbes with the third.
Minty Cookie 10, hi mate. I meant to vote under a new manager. QPR isn't a pushover team. This time last, however, you batter the R's. Well, yeah, they're battling well, Minty mate. They're battling well. You know, they're climbing up the table, and they're thoroughly worthy of staying 0-0 this first half, I would say. Just shows you how well Mowbray was doing with his squad, says Glenn.
Another goal it was. A three-man move. Luke Carr found Jack Maskell, who then found Pearson, who from an acute angle screwed the ball into the corner of the net. What a finish it was to put them 1-0 up. And then on 37 minutes, centre-back Jack Walker's cross found the other centre-back, Jude Smears, who headed superbly into the corner of the net. Brilliant goal to make it 2. And then right on half-time, Dale Pearson got his second after a brilliant piece of work by Jack Maskell, who squared the ball to Pearson after taking out all the defence. Brilliant finish. 3-0 at half-time. Very, very happy.
Razzle Clark, it's sad to say we're going to get a point against QPR at home. Jack Carter, welcome mate. Hey up buddy, just got in, how are we doing? We're playing a little bit better, nothing sparkling. It's a slight improvement, to be quite honest with you. I think Mowbray wanted more say, that's why I had to go. I know Doug, I know.
Ashington away at Belper Town this afternoon, and that at half time is also all square. square. Cameron Gascoigne, nephew of Paul, getting Ashington's, what was an equaliser there. So Belper 1, Ashington Town 1 in the Northern Premier League East Division. We will do a local football roundup slightly later than normal today. It'll be at half-time in the Newcastle United match.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Robots want to take over the world, and so do cats. And now they're combining both of them. Robot cats are a thing, and it could spell the end of humanity.
No, I feel like I'd be in a good stance if that did happen, because I do like cats and I always say thank you to my Alexa.
No, Colette, you cannot win over an army of robotic cats. They won't take you in. They'll just spend their life turning their back to you and showing you their little metal behinds.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
We will be back at the Stadium of Light shortly because Sunderland against Queen's Park Rangers is our 3 o'clock commentary this afternoon, and it's goals in that first half. Nick Price and Harry Bennett. Back in a few minutes' time. One more championship goal to give you, actually. Ipswich now 3-0 up on Sheffield Wednesday. Nathan Broadhead, remember him getting Ipswich's third. Let's talk Newcastle United. For a minute or two then, because I am live at the Etihad Stadium ahead of this FA Cup quarter-final. Newcastle United away at Manchester City, probably the most difficult draw that they could have been given after the nervy penalty shootout win over Blackburn. And I am joined by John Anderson, former Newcastle United fullback, who will be Matthew Racebeck's co-commentator, of course, who are later on. Have Newcastle got any chance today, John?
Of course they have. Yeah. Look, I think we've seen earlier on, Colin, championship side goes to Wolves. They concede what they thought was a winning goal in added on time, yet they come back and win it. So look, we know what cup football's all about. It's going to be very, very difficult, there's no doubt about that, but to say that have they got any chance, yes they have, but they're going to have to play very, very well.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because it was a facetious question. Of course they do have a chance, but in order to take advantage of what few opportunities they might get, how do they approach it? Because it's really tempting to say, Man City are really good on the ball, let's be quite defensive, let's put some extra defenders on the pitch, basically.
I suppose that's a $6 million question. How do you go about it? Do you go ultra defensive and sit in, which is a very, very dangerous game to play, because then all of a sudden if you score early on, there's that game plan out the window. You've then totally got to rip that up and try something else. Do you go gung-ho? Do you go toe-to-toe with them? Which can be very dangerous as well. Look, whichever way you approach it, it's going to be tough, because City are the pinnacle that everybody wants to get to. They are the benchmark. They are where everybody wants to be. They've got quality players all over the pitch. They shift the ball very, very quickly. The movement is excellent. And if you turn off for a second, all of a sudden the ball will be in the back of your net. It's all about keeping your concentration, people doing their jobs.
Bring me some caramel bites,
really
please.
Interesting to see how Eddie Howe goes about this one. Does he stick with a back four that he trusts, Livramento at right back, Downburn at left back, or does he for today decide to bring in a third centre back? Now, if he brings in a third centre back,
as long as there's a pack for me.
Again, does he move Downburn into centre back? Does he bring Lascelles in? If he brings Lascelles in, you couldn't see him playing Downburn as a left wing back.
No, and I think a lot of Newcastle fans listening to it would hope that he wasn't, because he gets found out as a fullback. In many senses. Not every sense. He's clearly still got quality in that position. But a wing back might leave him even more exposed.
It's I mean, we just don't know what way he's going to go about it. Look,
it's exciting, isn't it?
Well, I'm not too sure. It's nervy. I know
it's
that
nervy.
much.
It's nervy. I'll take that.
It's very nervy. Well, we still an hour and a half, and you're trying to second guess what's going to happen. Look, we know the way that Manchester City will play. They'll get it, they'll keep it, they'll move you around the pitch. They'll go from side to side. They'll go slow, quick. They just move it, they move you around, and then they set up the tempo, and all of a sudden you're behind that are in and goal. But in order to win, we've got to play an awful lot better than we have to do. A lot of people said we didn't play particularly well at Chelsea. We didn't play well at Chelsea. We've been playing well for a while.
Why is it
You know,
wrong?
people say, "Oh, we were great
Not
against
really.
Wolves," but we weren't
It's
really
still
great
wrong.
against Wolves.
Is there a
Nobody
best way I keep
was
it?
ever going to hurt us.
Right, let's catch
So
up on the
it's an
chat.
interesting one to look forward to.
Indeed. We'll get the team news from Matthew Ravebeck in about half an hour's time. Kick off at 5:30, but the build-up will begin from here. As soon as
Rusty Mackham and Gran Canaria, I think they're up trying hard apart from Hamir. I'd sub him
very much in tight contention.
for anyone else. He's clueless, maybe netball is his game. Really? Wow.
Newcastle United away at
Netball.
Wolves, but it's Sunderland's men we're focusing on for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, in the fridge.
Sunderland at home
You
to
need
Queen's
to tidy that kitchen up, boys.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett are back in just a tick.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio
Wait,
Newcastle.
am I going to play hide and seek? Huh?
Cheers for the 2 subscribers as well. 1,957. 43
As Dan Neil leads
needed.
players out for
2,000.
the second half.
It's on the shelf somewhere, the juices.
Here you
As is his want.
It's on the shelf.
Rangers already out.
Kevin Taylor, hello mate. At least we shouldn't go down this season.
End of the
It's what?
stadium in the second half. No changes.
Oh.
By the looks of things to either
There's no mac and cheese
side
then.
for the second
I don't like this one. This is not the one we usually have.
Theo, you can have some of this.
Right, it's time to mute myself. And let's have the second half underway. Catch you full time.
Bar Ashish Mundal and Amir is the starting lineup and is the starting lineup for the second half as Queen's Park Rangers get us underway here. The ball back to Clark Salter. I'll go through their Queen's Park Rangers team in just a moment. Ballard is letting this one run through to Anthony Patterson, who's all in yellow. Away to our right, Begovic in goal, Dunn, Cook, Clark, Salter and Parle is the back four for Queen's Park Rangers. Colback and Hayden, and then Willock, Anderson, Chair, Lyndon Dykes, the Scottish international up front. Came back to this country to play for his hometown club, Queen of the South and Livingston. He had a spell in Australia as he came into the team as the rotation by Marty Cifuentes carries on with Queen's Park Rangers seemingly apparently changing their strikers for every game. Pretty much, certainly as far as away games go. Here's Hjelde on the left, trying to find out Styles. Little flick inside to Ashish, but it's run away from Dunn, out for a throw to Sunderland. Styles plays the ball back into the middle to Neil, across to Mundal on the far side, brings it down, lays it back to the halfway line, and Trey Human, indeed the weather forecasters were right. It's turned cloudy now as Mundal gets down the right wing. Parle's in front of him, he's got Hume behind him. Hume plays the ball back again to Ballard, just right of the centre circle, out to Hume again, and then it's swept up, looking for Job, takes it down, he goes down on his back in the penalty area. Referee takes a longish look at it, but he's not going to give anything. And in the end, it's Colback who turns the ball out into touch on the far side. Throw taken. Dan Neil trying to get forwards. It's played down to Ashish, trying to just thread it through to Joe, but Colback gets the ball away, again out into touch, but off a Sunderland player. A throw this time to Queen's Park Rangers. A lot of fans, when I spoke to them before the game, would take a draw today. I mean, if it ends 0-0, I think people would just be relieved it stopped the run of defeat.
Stop the rot.
Stop the rot.
Yeah, definitely.
Still obviously a way to go. We've got 43 minutes to play. Here's Colback hooking it forward, stabbed away by Hume. Mundal cutting into the middle here now, but loses the ball, but wins it back. Job on his chest with his back to goal, plays it back to Ballard on halfway on the right hand side, and he plays it into the middle. Sorry, to Hjelde. And Hjelde gives it straight to Willock.
Pass.
Willock now out to Anderson. Lucas Anderson on this right wing, the Danish international, trying to come past Hjelde. He's turned away from him, now trying to get the ball off him is Styles. Anderson plays it back to Steve Cook. in the centre circle to Jake Clark-Salter, and out to Kenneth Parle on the far side. Then forwards to Chair. He's given the ball away to Mundle. Mundle now, he's in his own half, not sure what to do with it, plays it back to Hjelde, sorry, and Hjelde swings it out to the left here, and Barr is beaten in the air by Dunn. Forward to Anderson, and Anderson bringing this ball back here now for Steve Cook, wide on the right, just inside his own half, and he will try to find Lyndon Dykes. Lets it drop over his shoulder down the right of the penalty area, hooks the ball high in the air, looking for Chair, headed away by Hume, out to Colback, who wins it in front of Jobe and lays it off to Chair on that left wing. Parle inside, Chair still dribbling at Hume, goes round him into the penalty area. Hume wins him back. He did well there, but he slipped it back towards the goal line, and Ballard had to whip back and play it out off Parle for a throw. Denied Queen's Park Rangers the opportunity of another corner. Hume across to take the throw in the 50th minute, then Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And drops to Dan Neil, hooked it out for another throw to Queen's Park Rangers. 20 yards from the corner on the left-hand side. Colback, back to Parle, trying to come in past Mundle, blocked by Mundle, drops for the Suriname international, swept in by Chair, looking for Willock.
Great
foul by Willock.
Excellent defending that by Styles.
Yeah. Great block, stuck right close to Chris Willock, wasn't going to give him an inch. Patterson comes out to take the free kick to Hjelde. Wide again to Styles, inside then to Dan Neil, back to Styles, put him under pressure here, and he's played the ball straight into the path of Dykes, and now Styles has to win it back, nods it down for Neil in the penalty area. Colback's on his shoulder, he stabs it back behind him to Hjelde.
Well done.
And Hjelde clears up onto the head of Cook, heads it forwards looking for Anderson. Styles looking to get it. In the end, Dykes gets his head on it, brings it down for Willock on the right hand side, gets away from Al-Shish, crosses, crashes off the back of Styles for a corner.
You know, the ball's come out there. Himir's got to win them or even win a foul.
Instead, a set piece, a corner kick for Queen's Park Rangers on the right hand side here. Anderson briefly raises two arms as he walks down to take the corner on the right at the Roker end. Noticeable those empty seats.
No free headers.
And then right-footed. Oh, the whistle's blown. What's the referee seen here? A bit of pushing. Having a word with.
Is it Trey Hume?
I think it's Hume and Dunn. I think that's the two is just spoken to. Hume sticking with Jimmy Dunn. Chair's come down to have a word quietly with Anderson.
So they've got 3B, 2 at the back.
So I think they're going to vary this corner. I think there's a bit of a discussion about this is going to be something a bit different.
4v3 now.
Anderson again drives this in. It's headed goalwards, but wild wide. It's a deflected.
Another corner.
It's a corner again. Not sure who that came off. Might have been Hume, but so another corner.
They've got an extra man at the back. That's what they've got.
Anderson again from
Isaac
the right
Hayden's
here.
on his own.
Is that Clark-Salter at the back of the penalty area? It's driven in again towards the far side of the penalty area. Colback gives chase with Hjelde. Hjelde gets round him. The ball rolled out for a throw though to Queen's Park Rangers. The assistant undecided to start with, but then he does raise the flag for Rangers throw. 53rd minute, 0-0 still. The bench for Sunderland is Bishop, Pembele, Burstow, Ekwa, Dack, Kelly, Jones, Bainbridge and Rigg. The flag is up. Free kick to Sunderland. 3 youngsters, Caden, Kelly, Harrison Jones and Ollie Bainbridge. I say 3 youngsters. Chris Rigg's only 16, but we see him as a regular now. Familiarity breeds contempt, as they say. The ball played back by Ballard to Patterson, passed out to Hjelde on the left here. and back to Patterson. Dykes goes to close him down. Patterson just steps to one side, passes the ball out to Hjelde. Anderson tried to get in his way, but Hjelde not sure where to go with this, is he?
Oh.
In the end, he scoops it out. Completely miskicked it.
That's what he said. He's got nobody to hit.
And it's a throw to.
They're going to make a substitution.
Queen's Park Rangers. Sunderland are.
Yeah.
Equa's going to come on. Equa and Rigg. Double substitution.
Job up front or something.
Yeah. Done with the throw. Willock's just running around in circles, as Anderson is as well. He brings the ball down, Anderson. Styles trying to get it away from the goal line, just backheels it for Barr to bring out. And he's scooped it straight at Colback, comes back to Hjelde and driven up over the halfway line. And it'll be dealt with by Paul back to Begovic. And
unlucky.
Mundle did try to intercept. West Brom 2, Bristol City 0. Neil puts the ball up to Hamir. He lays it off now to Job in the centre circle. Job comes across here towards the left, plays it out wide to Barr, and Barr now looking to try and cut inside, but Willock got a touch to it. Barr comes back, plays it back to Hjelde. And Sunderland look nervy. There's no real pattern to their play at all, is there?
Not at all.
Back it comes. Ballard in the centre circle to Hume. Hume wide again to Mundle. Mundle closed down by Parl. It comes back to Hume. He'll play it back to Patterson. As I say, as you were saying,
no options. We've got nothing to hit.
Looking to make a couple of changes in a couple of minutes. 56th minute now. 0-0. Job trying to get away from Colback. Through to Aushish. Now Aushish out to Styles. Down the left wing. Barr here now. Barr, Hamir jogging into the penalty area. Barr running into the penalty area. And it's just stabbed behind by Dunn. It's a corner to Sunderland. Ipswich 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Aushish will take the corner on the left at the north end. Mundle's come across as well.
Come on, Hamir, get your head on it.
Hamir standing at the corner, right corner of the 6-yard box with Anderson. Hamir just shoves him off and away from him. And here's Mundle, short corner, crosses, looking for the far corner. It's out for a goal kick.
I don't think we haven't worked on anything like that, have we, corners?
No. 56 minutes. Rigg coming on, Equa coming on. Who's coming off?
Hamir. I would imagine.
You'd think so, wouldn't, as you say, Job will push up front. Barr's coming off. And Hamir indeed is coming off. I actually don't think Barr's done that bad. I mean, he's
been okay.
He'd probably feel a little bit unlucky to be coming off. So Rigg goes out wide right. Mundle's come across to the left. Equa's gone in the centre. Job's gone up front. 0-0 in the 57th minute, and it's a goal kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Clark Salter will take it from the corner of the 6-yard box, passes it across to Cook. Cook drives this up over the halfway line and headed on by Dunn, cleared by Hjelde. Mundle trying to get away down the touchline, just checks in front of Dunn, plays it inside to Neil, back to Hjelde, inside to Ballard, and to the left again to Dan Neil. Neil bringing this up towards halfway, lays it off to Styles on the left wing. Styles back to Dan Neil, back again to Hjelde, and Hjelde then to Ballard. Ballard back to Hjelde, then to Styles. Styles still just short of the halfway line, inside to Dan Neil, closed down by Anderson. Passes it back to Hjelde. Anderson still giving chase. Dykes is up there as well, and Patterson plays it across on the right to Dan Ballard, who sprints away from Dykes, gets it up to Hume. Hume inside then to Job. Job is surrounded by blue and white shirts, and Colback comes away with the ball, sweeps it down the left, but it'll roll out for a throw to Sunderland. Not far away from the hour mark, 0-0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Ballard bringing this out from the penalty area, across to Hjelde, inside again to Dan Neil, and Neil, short pass forwards to Ekwa, back to Neil, and Neil trying to go around Anderson, who went to trip him up. Referee's played an advantage. Neil again looking for the run down the right of Hume. Hume tries to roll this into the penalty area for Al-Shish, but it's cleared by Queen's Park Rangers.
Good play again by Dan Neil.
Good vision, and eventually out for a throw to the visitors on the far side, just short of the halfway line.
They're going to make a substitution, Nick.
Yeah, I saw them passing notes.
Is it Paul Smith? I'm not sure.
Hard to read the number, but I think it. No, is it Joe Hodge, who's on loan from Wolves? If it's the number 16, I think it's Hodge. Here comes Parle down the left, looking for the run through the middle of Willock, but out came Patterson, smashes the ball away. I'm fairly certain that is Joe Hodge, and it's a double substitution actually. Is that Sinclair Armstrong as well, who's about to come on?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Hodge and Armstrong. Joe Hodge is a defensive midfielder. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in the scheme of things. His coach having a word with him at the moment, his arm around his shoulder. It's 0-0, we're in the 61st minute. The ball back from Clark Salter to Begovic. And you were talking about Sinclair Armstrong, and
he's a handful. Yeah,
being a handful in his pace. Dykes wrestling for the ball from Hjelde, but losing it to Ekwa, who gives it straight to Cook. Now Hayden to Dunn. Down the right here, Willock wrestling with Styles. Gets the ball forwards to Sheesh, back to Hjelde. Lifts it up into the Queen's Park Rangers half. Job's given chase to this header out from Clark Salter. And Job now taking us on down the right, laying it off to Hume. There's a Queen's Park Rangers player down. Hume plays it back into Ekwa. The referee's going to stop the game.
Oh, you are joking, referee.
To the fury of the Sunderland fans, and I think rightly so. I think it's Chair who now stands up. And, you know, I don't think the referee needed to stop the game there. You could... To me, that was cynical by Chair. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. It's going to be a drop ball, but I think Chair was aware once the ball had gone away that they were on the break, Sunderland, and he purposely stayed down. I can understand Sunderland's frustration. Ekwa, it will be the drop ball too from Oliver Langford. Ekwa passes it to Rigg. Rigg now to Neil, left of midfield, trying to get away from Anson. Again tries to pull him back, and now out to Mundell on the left touchline, trying to cut in from Dunn and plays it back to Hjelde. The two Queen's Park Rangers substitutes still waiting to come on. Ballard back to Hjelde.
Great pass
to Styles, and now Rigg looking for Al-Shish, cut out by Cook. It'll bounce away here to the foot of the fourth official, so the substitutions will be made, and it's Chair coming off for Hodges, or Hodge I should say,
and Dykes is coming off.
Oh yeah, that's the obvious. So that change coming in the 63rd minute. 21-year-old Joe Hodge, former Manchester City youngster on loan from Wolves, Irish lad. And Sinclair Armstrong, 20-year-old Irishman, one cap, signed from Shamrock Rovers 4 years ago. On he comes. and takes over Lyndon Dykes' role up front for Queen's Park Rangers.
He's got a bit of pace, strong.
0-0. Ball back to Patterson, passes it out to Dan Ballard, and across here to Hjelde. Hjelde back to Patterson, and Patterson will drive this up over the halfway line and flicked on by Rigg, but cleared by Clark Salter over on the left-hand side, down the left wing, looking for Armstrong. Comes back down for Rigg, and he did well there. He spun round off the ball, but lost it in the end to Colback and has hurt himself. He's gone down, he's patting the floor, he's not entirely comfortable as he gets back up. It's his left ankle, Chris Rigg. He's trying to run it off. He's hobbling across the pitch here, trying to get up to speed as the ball comes down here through Hodge onto halfway, and Styles tackles him. It breaks for Joe, but he's tackled by Hayden, and the ball out on the left eventually to Willock, who's gone across onto the left wing. Stoke 0, Norwich 3. Back to Begovic, out to Cook. Aushish tries to put pressure on him. Cook plays the ball out. Well, he doesn't in the end. It rolls right down the touchline, almost into the corner, and Styles does keep it in. Anderson goes to close him down. Styles whips his left foot through it, straight to Hayden. Now to Hodge. Hodge out wide to Anderson again. Anderson cutting inside here. Flicks it through into the penalty area. Sinclair Armstrong shoots straight at Patterson on the angle at the foot of the post.
There's nobody up. There's only Bellingham up.
It's rolled to Hjelde, out to Styles on the left-hand side. Neil back to Ballard. Queen's Park Rangers in their blue and white hoops. Sunderland in their red and white stripes, and here's Styles, gives the ball away, wins it back off Anderson, plays it inside to Neil, drives it up the right wing for Hume to run onto.
Great pass.
Into the penalty area goes Rigg, and the cross, Job there as well, is cleared only as far as Willock, who tries to get this out, and he does, to Hodge, and it's laid off then to Parle, and he taps it to Colback. Colback swings it across here to Jimmy Dunn, brings it down, plays it back to Cook, and Cook now to Dunn again on this right-hand side, and Dunn trying to get away from Mundle, but Dunn just turns him, gets the ball now to Hayden, forwards to Hodge, and Hodge inside to Anderson, who gives the ball away to Aushish. Aushish whips in, gets the ball through here down to Mundle. He slips, and Hayden's able just to steer the ball back to Begovic as Mundle picks himself up. Slipped at just the wrong moment, just outside the penalty area, and here's Cook, plays it back and out to Clark Salter on the left, and forwards to Parle, and forwards again to Willock. Now Sinclair Armstrong, looked like Ballard was pulling him back, but he's got the ball, Armstrong. He's taking Ballard on wide on the left hand side, and then it's played back here to Willock on the left touchline, dribbling at Rigg. Willock still going onto his right foot, crosses, and it lands on the bar. I think Patterson was underneath it, he knew where it was going, but it still came as a bit of a surprise landing there as Hjelde clears straight to Hayden, and on the right wing, slipped inside to Hodge, won back by Dan Neil, trying to get away from Joe Hodge, who manages to stretch and get the ball back to Hayden, and now back with Hayden out to Dunn on the right hand side, and forwards looking to get it to Anderson. Out it goes for a Queen's Park Rangers throw. 68th minute, Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. The throw will be taken by Dunn. Burnley 2, Brentford 0, and Dunn looking for Armstrong. He's wrestling with Hjelde at the edge of the penalty area, and Hjelde has eventually got his foot on the ball, takes it to the goal line, then with his left clears up towards halfway, but headed on again by Cook, then smashed away by Styles. Job will give chase on Clark Salter, but Clark Salter gets the ball back to Begovic, who lifts it over Job and right over the halfway line to Ballard, who heads it on again. Hayden in the centre circle to Parl just behind him, gives the ball away, but Job stabbed at it. Comes back here for Hjelde and onto the head of Clark Salter in the Queen's Park Rangers midfield. Parl's under pressure, but he plays it back to Clark Salter, and he lays it off again to Kenneth Parl, who plays it back to Begovic in that dark, I think it's grey actually rather than dark green, the goalkeeping kit, and swings it up to Hjelde, who heads it straight to Hayden. Hayden lays it off to Dunn. Dunn goes round Mundle out here on the right, then to Isaac Hayden down the right touchline to Anderson. And Dunn's wanting the ball played to him on the right. He's laid off to Dunn, Anderson, and now Dunn looking up, trying to get round Neil, slides in, and the ball rolls behind for a corner. In the corner.
Yeah. And you just feel that, you know, they're playing for set pieces, aren't they? Playing for corners. Dunn was.
Yeah. Anderson again walks down with both arms raised, as almost in adulation that he's going to take the corner on the right hand side. Hodge is back there on the right with him as well for the possible short corner. 70th minute, 0-0. Colback's just back out in midfield, as is Parl.
Concentrate.
And Anderson then, Lucas Anderson from the southwest corner with the 6th Queen's Park Rangers corner. Floats towards the far post, and there's some pushing, and there's a free kick to Sunderland.
Well done.
Patterson gets hold of the ball and passes it now to Hjelde. Hjelde inside Neil, Dan Neil, closed down by Colback, gets it back to Ballard, Ballard to Neil. Neil passing it through to Mundle, just on halfway, skips away from Hayden, through the centre circle and out to the right wing now to Trey Hume. Hume back inside to Ekwa. Ekwa on the right of central midfield, looking for Aushish, slips it through, nobody there, and it'll run out behind for a goal kick.
See what he was trying to do. Just automatically put
the gap was there, but he just couldn't. There's nobody around. Nobody predicted it, did they? Yeah. Nobody intuitively to run through onto that ball through. Down the right from Queen's Park Rangers out for a Sunderland throw. Styles will take this. It's halfway inside the Sunderland half. On the left, Aushish, Mundle, the options, Job as well, over Job's head back to Cook. Inside to Clark Salter, Aushish gives chase. Clark Salter will play it back to Begovic, who passes it out to Dunn. Forwards to Isaac Hayden on this right wing, 72nd minute. Floating it over the top for Armstrong. Lets it drop over his shoulder, takes one slight nod forwards, then crashes off Ballard as he tried to get the ball across on the far side to Willock. Ballard keeps it in and passes it up towards Job, who gets a push in the back, surely. Referee doesn't think so. Hayden behind him, throw to Queen's Park Rangers. Dunn takes it, Hodge trying to get it through to Anderson. Styles right all over him again. Anderson slips away from him, but Mundle gets the ball off him. Mundle now looking for the run of Aushish. It's optimistic, that ball. No. It'll drop through to Begovic at the edge of his area. And passed out by Cook to Hayden. Back to Cook. Now wide to Dunn. Back towards Anderson. Hayden behind him, down for Hodge on the right wing, halfway inside the Sunderland half, into Willock in the middle, and Hayden behind him. Hayden's just caught. Referee's pulled a yellow card out for, was that Hume?
Yep.
Who caught Hayden, and that's Hume's 10th yellow of the season, but of course the amnesty is now passed. Ebbsfleet 3, Gateshead 2. Hume's booking coming in the 73rd minute. 5:30, of course, we've got full commentary of Manchester City versus Newcastle United in the FA Cup quarter-finals. That's available too on BBC Sounds with Razor and Ander. We'll head there shortly for team news. Let's see what happens with this free kick, as Mundle stands behind the white line. Anderson is going to take the free kick, the Dane. He's got Parle in the centre, he's got Hodge in the middle as well. Everyone else in a line 20 yards out. And Anderson then drives it in with his right foot. Ballard, well, it heads it back onto a Queen's Park Rangers player who knocks it behind. I think it's done. Goal kick. Let's head to the Etihad and Matthew Racebeck.
They've made 2 changes. No Tino Livramento because of injury. Miguel Almiron also drops out. And we think it's a back 5 today. Dubravka, Murphy, Cher, Lascelles, Botman, Byrne, Bruno, Longstaff, Willock, Gordon is fit, and Isak.
Thank you, Razor. Full commentary from 5:30, as I say, on BBC Radio Newcastle and BBC Sounds. As the ball in the meantime has gone from one end to the other and back to the other, and now it's up on the halfway line with Joe, who gets a push in the back from Steve Cook. And a free kick.
Referee.
In the 75th minute, 15 minutes or so left, it's 0-0, and here's Aushish down the left-hand side. He's got Mundle wide of him. Aushish leaves it for Mundle. Mundle back here now to Neil. Neil swings it over on the far side to Hume. Hume brings it down, closed down by Willock, crosses, headed out by Cook. Neil trying to nod it down to Ekwa, looks for Styles, back to Neil, and out here on the left to Mundle. Mundle taking on Dunn at the corner of the penalty area. Now Hodge joins in to try and win it back, and Dunn wins it back, takes it onto the goal line and hooks it round out for a throw. Down the left here, Mundle will leave the throw for Styles. Styles, Job is at the edge of the penalty area. It drops to Aushish just down the touchline. Styles now crosses into the penalty area, bounces right through and straight to Willock. And Willock now almost tackled by Rigg. Did enough for the ball to come back to Hjelde in the challenge, and now with Hume down the right for Rigg. Rigg, far side, almost on the touchline.
This is when we need
behind
to get men in the box.
Ekwa in the middle. Ekwa across to Styles on the left-hand side. There's going to be another change. I think it's going to be made by Queen's Park Rangers, but here's Mundle back to Ekwa, looking for Mundle again at the edge of the area, tries a shot, takes a deflection off someone's back, then hooked away by Cook over his head, down to Ekwa on the left, and he slips it down past Anderson to Aushish, and Aushish now with Dunn in front of him gets it back to Ekwa. Ekwa slips it through to Styles, comes up off the boot of Parle. Rigg stretches, the flag is up. Unlucky, just a little bit too far for him to get contact, but he'd have been offside anyway. And
at least we look like a little bit more
energetic
threat,
around the penalty area, yeah. The fourth official standing with the board at the edge of the pitch. Now, it doesn't seem like there's anybody getting up off either bench, so whether Sunderland are or Queen's Park Rangers are thinking of a change, it's not evident at the moment. The ball drops for Job in the middle. He's run though into Clark Salter. The ball breaks for Colback. Colback over the halfway line, down the left, out to Willock on the left-hand side. Chris Willock dribbling at Hume, puts it past him down the left touchline. Hume goes back to cover, and now Willock trying to come on his right foot. A stab at it from Hume. The cross is made though, straight into the hands of Patterson, who got it out quickly now to Aushish. Aushish with Mundle wide of him. He's got Joe through the middle. Aushish lays it off to Mundle on the left-hand side. Mundle plays it back behind into Ekwa and back to Hjelde. Cross to Dan Ballard. Forwards to Neil. Neil now floats it down the right to Hume. Hume, Job's calling for it. It's played down the right. Rigg's not going to reach this. Clark Salter is. And Rigg tries to tackle him, but the ball out for a throw.
Yeah.
And it's Burstow, I think, is coming on.
Is he coming on for Bellingham?
It's coming on for Mundle. Interesting. So this is the 78th minute now. Burstow on up front with Job. And it's 0-0. Parle will take this throw on the far side for Queen's Park Rangers. Onto the head of Hume, hooked back by Rigg, trying to get it down the wing. Queen's Park Rangers drive it away onto the head of Ballard, and it'll come back. As Sinclair Armstrong just floors Ballard off the ball. The referee's given Sunderland the free kick. Here's Ekwa to Dan Neil. Neil back to Ballard. Across here now to Hjelde. Down to Ekwa on the left-hand side, up to the halfway line. And he's trying to get it through to Ashish, but it's whipped off him by Dunn. Ashish is down, he's hurt, he's laying on his side as play goes on. Willock's trying to get on. Willock wins a free kick.
Hold on, mate.
Foul by Dan Neil. Referee's coming back to see what's the problem with Ashish.
Chair goes down there,
yeah,
he stops the game. He goes down there and he play on. Come on, ref.
Ashish is back up on his feet. Queen's Park Rangers have this free kick to take, pushing everybody up. Anderson comes back to take the free kick. It's just inside the Sunderland half.
Again, concentration here.
Anderson has a group together on the left of midfield. There's a break from Hodge. Nobody's picked him up on the right here. Now Styles has to come across and cover, and Anderson waiting still now with his right, hooks it in the air towards the corner of the penalty area, over everybody's heads. Dunn's trying to get around Hjelde, but the whistle's blown.
Free kick.
It's a free kick to Sunderland. We have played 80 minutes. Sunderland 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Well, Sunderland will certainly be grateful to keep the clean sheet. Well, there's no way there's 41,000 people here. That's the official attendance, but that is nowhere near today.
I think
41,000.
I think the supporters are laughing at that.
I think they are. I think that was an audible laugh, wasn't it? Because that is just not an accurate reflection of how many are in the game today. The whistle's blown. It's a free kick to Sunderland on the left, just inside the Sunderland half. Styles back to Hjelde, and Hjelde forwards again to Ashish. Anderson goes to close him down and comes back to Hjelde. Hjelde pauses, plays it to Ekwa in the middle, Colback on his shoulder. Ekwa to Dan Neil here wide. He clips it on, looking for Burstow, who heads it into the centre, looking for Job, who slips slightly, but he still manages to get on the ball and get it back to Ekwa. Across now to Hume on the far side, and Hume down the right to Rigg. Rigg down the right again for Hume to run onto this, and he crosses in off the defender, was it? It's a corner. Again, a bit better from Sunderland. Could they snatch a goal here in the last 10 minutes? From the right, Ashish. Hume back up in the centre circle, everyone else forwards. Here it comes, right-footed, headed away easily actually by Cook. Only as far as Ekwa, scuffed his shot, falls for Styles in the penalty area. Ekwa at the edge of the area again, tries to curl it in for Burstow, but it's hooked away. Comes back to Hume, and up and under into the penalty area. Bekovic drops it, whistle's blown. Burstow penalised. Foul on the keeper.
Ekwa, was that with his outside?
It was Job, sorry, on the keeper. I think it was. So, free kick, which will be taken by Bekovic. Everyone else heading upfield towards this right-hand side. The line Sunderland holding right up just behind halfway. Down the right it goes, Styles heads it away. There's another change incoming from...
Oh, you got to win it.
Queen's Park Rangers. Sam Field is going to come on. He was dropped in favour of Isaac Hayden today. But he's waiting to come on, 6'3" midfielder. Paul on the far side. They're making a double change. Actually, Smith's going to come on as well. Paul Smith, the Northern Ireland international. But down the left wing, Hodge slips it inside, looking for Willock, but Rigg offside. Free kick to Sunderland. Substitutions about to be made now by Queen's Park Rangers. And it will be Anderson who's coming off. He's replacement is Smith. And Hayden, yeah, it's the obvious one because it's he who replaced Field at the start of the game. He comes on now, alongside technically Jack Cole back in midfield. Former West Bromwich Albion youth player, Sam Field. Hjelde swings his foot through it, up towards Burstow, headed away by Dunn. There's another header away by Dunn, and then getting his head in there bravely is Field, but it comes down for Aushish. Dunn tries to get it away, Field stabs it forwards now to Hodge, clips it back inside for Field, but Job gets there before him. And Job now, he needs someone to come up on this right-hand side. Well, Hume's come on the left, and Rigg's gone down the right, down on that far side. It's stabbed out by Clark Salter for a throw to Sunderland. 85th minute. Back it comes to Job, into Ekwa. Ekwa to his left, Dan Neal just in front of the centre circle, through to Burstow, gives the ball away, straight to Sam Field, then out on this right-hand side.
It's offside.
It's played on
to,
well, his flag stayed down, Sinclair Armstrong into the penalty area, and the save by his feet, Patterson behind for the corner.
I'll tell you what, he looked offside to me. I know he tried to bend his run. But, linesman's got to keep up. He's got to keep up.
He kept his flag firmly down, didn't he? Patterson saving with his feet at the near post. So 0-0 still. Corner from the right-hand side.
Concentration here.
Is it Parle taking the corner kick? Left-footed, driven in, straight, punched away by Patterson. I don't know why he didn't catch that. Out into midfield. Now Colback lifts it back down the right. Cook is in the penalty area, tries to play it off into the centre, but it's chested back to Patterson by Job, and Patterson bowls the ball out quickly to try and get Rigg away. Willett wants to pull him back. That's got to be a yellow card. Out comes the card, and Willock joins Dunn in Oliver Langford's notebook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's what Rigg brings to the table.
Yeah,
a little bit of energy.
Yeah,
willing to run,
willing to have a go.
Yeah,
ball played up through the middle. Burstow headed away though by Dunn, hooked away by Clark Salter. Back up on halfway. Sinclair Armstrong up against Ballard, and again Armstrong trying to get over the top of him, but the ball's gone out for a throw to Sunderland. 87th minute. Nobody wants to make a mistake now. It's 0-0. Queen's Park Rangers may well go for it, but Sunderland just do not want to concede now. They've got a clean sheet in their sights. Stops that run. Back to Patterson from Hjelde. Hjelde out to Ballard on the corner of the penalty area. Back to Patterson, out here to Hjelde on the left-hand side. Inside again to Neal. Back to Hjelde. Lifts it up over the halfway line. Burstow beaten in the air by Cook, then Neal gets on the end of it, heads it forwards again. Cook gets in front of Burstow again. Aushish heads it up, headed away by Dunn. Hjelde nods it down to Ekwa, tries to play it out to Aushish, who swings it into the middle, headed away by Cook. Out to Smith, and he will lift it over the top. Look for the run of Armstrong. Ipswich 5, Sheffield Wednesday now. He's strong, he's got away from Ballard. He's squared this here now. A save. And
great save.
Willock falls to the floor as Patterson palmed it away. Willock was looking to chase up, but missed it completely. And Queen's Park Rangers will be thinking they should be one up.
Excellent save by Patterson. But again, Sinclair, what did we say? Power.
Yeah.
Just played it down the side, makes runs, strong. Pulled it back across, and you've got to say he should have scored, but fantastic save. Credit to Patterson.
It was a very good save. And that's a couple now in the last 5 minutes from Patterson. But Riggs away at the other end. Squares this. Up off the back heels of Cook and over the bar for a corner. Sunderland's 5th corner. Across to the right goes Al-Shish to take it. Is there going to be drama at the end here? Burstow in the 6-yard box, Job just behind him, Begovic standing big. Al-Shish from the right-hand side, Ballard's up, Pjelder's up. And Al-Shish from the right drives this in. It's headed across the 6-yard box by Ballard. A chase across to the touchline, just kept in by Neil, but right in the path of Sinclair Armstrong, and he's taking this on again down this right-hand side, still going. He's ridden one challenge from Job, he's still going, he's in the penalty area on the right-hand side, and he drives a low shot at Patterson at the near post.
He was never going to beat him from there.
He just lost it, ran out of energy. Patterson bowls it out now on the right-hand side, and this is getting a little bit open. We're in the last minute of the 90. Ekwa to Ballard. Ballard then leaves it for Ekwa. It's 0-0. We're in the 90th minute. Ekwa up to Rigg on halfway. Skips away from field. Comes back into his own half. Sinclair Armstrong's gone down on his back. He's lying in the Sunderland half. Dunn heads the ball down towards the touchline. Hooks it back down the line. And Patterson just standing and looking over the top of Sinclair Armstrong. Goes to see if it's okay. And the referee stops play again. And he's calling for the Queen's Park Rangers physio to come on, to the ire of the Sunderland fans.
He must be shattered because he's made 2 runs. What's that all about?
I think Dan Neil, 3 minutes out of time. There'll be a bit more from that now with this. Incredibly frustrating for Sunderland, for the players, for the fans. We're into added time. We're into those 3 minutes at the minute. Armstrong sitting up, receiving some sort of treatment, and Burnley 2, Brentford 1. 0-0 here then in added time, but we've got a stoppage. Sinclair Armstrong being treated for I don't know what really. Ekwa just stands, the ball at his feet in the centre circle. Armstrong up on his feet, walking off here. Drop ball. Oh, Armstrong's broken into a jog and gets to the touchline. Oliver Langford then is about to drop the ball at the feet of Dan Ballard. We've technically played a minute and a half of added time, but I think we can safely assume that's going to get added on to the minimum 3. Neil plays the ball out to Ekwa, wide on the right-hand side. Colback in front of him, plays it back inside to Dan Neil. Neil now leaves it for Ekwa again, just in front of the centre circle. Ekwa through, looking for Rigg, back to Neil, tried to swing it into Rigg, it does reach him eventually, and then back to Ekwa behind him. Neil down the right, then to Hume, slips it inside to Al-Shish. Al-Shish, Colback trying to get the ball off him, out it goes for a throw. On the far side. Al-Shish is down off the pitch. I think it's a throw, but maybe not. It's a Queen's Park Rangers free kick, if it is a free kick. Al-Shish on his knees at one point, begging the referee something. It's a free kick which Begovic is going to take. We're in the 3rd minute of added time, but as I say, there must be more on top of this because of that stoppage for the, in inverted commas, injury to Sinclair Armstrong. Nil-nil. Begovic then from the far side, deep in his own half, right-footed down the left wing, headed away from Armstrong by Ballard. It drops for Hume, hooks it up into the middle, looking for Burstow, bounces, and surely Cook had his hand all over. Dunn had his hand all over Burstow. Free kick, quickly taken by Ekwa to Neil. Out here on the left then to Callum Styles. Styles Back to Dan Neil, just inside the Queen's Park Rangers half. Plays it across to the right wing, looks for Hume. Hume brings it down in front of Willock. Plays it back inside to Ekwa. Ekwa now in the middle of the Queen's Park Rangers half, trying to find somewhere to get the ball forwards. Down to Neil on the left-hand side, then down to Styles, left side of the penalty area. Here's his cross straight into the hands of Asmir Begovic. And he will pause a moment and let everybody head upfield. We played 3.5 minutes. Luton 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Begovic drops the ball outside the penalty area, comes out, kicks this upfield down the right-hand side. It's headed away by Hjelde, headed on again by Dunn, and then out off of Smith for a throw to Sunderland. That's 4 minutes of added time. Styles with a throw down the line. Dunn heads it back into the Sunderland half. Neil brings it down. I think this will be it. Clean sheet. The boos are for the referee, not for the team. So they've stopped that horrible run. They've earned a point, kept a clean sheet. Not a great game.
Not a great
but
game.
They've got to take that positive.
You've got to take the positives out of it. And I think Dan Neil for me was excellent. He was excellent today. You know,
Dan Neil was excellent today.
Stuff his neck. His passing was excellent. You know, he drove the team forward. And you've got to say, I think that is a good point for Sunderland, especially when you take into consideration all the injuries we've got, the players which we've had to play, the shape of the team. I think we just got to build on that.
A word, I think, for Anthony Patterson. He's made 3 or 4.
See you later.
Good saves today. Saves.
It's a good point. It's a good point. I'll take a point.
Yeah, he made one fantastic save right near the end there. You know, point blank really, but somehow he's got down.
Yeah, you're welcome everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much.
And again, we all know that,
at least we didn't get a big cabin.
Anthony Patterson, you know, shot stopping is fantastic.
But a draw's better than a loss,
you know,
absolutely.
And, I think a point is a fair result.
I think it probably is across the board today. It wasn't a great first half. They showed a lot more in the second half, I think.
And I've got 10 subscribers from this live stream, so thank you.
Give them a little bit more energy. Chris Rigg coming on.
Glad we didn't lose, says Topsy,
pushing up front.
Still not good, mate. Needed to win to take international break.
Steve Cook, and you just wonder.
You're welcome, Gordon.
If he just kept going, would it have been a different story?
No problem.
I think, you know, critically today, those supporters I spoke to before the game said, I will take a point just to stop that run of defeats.
Yeah, you know, stop the run of defeats, clean sheet. As I just mentioned, you know, Dan Neil was outstanding today, driving us forward in the middle of the park. And, you know, Ballard came back and you see that, you know, what a huge player is for Sunderland in that heart of defence. But yes, I think it's there to see from everybody that you cannot continue.
You're welcome, James.
We've got no choice.
John, another
you know,
very good
especially
performance
playing without an out-and-out striker, somebody with a little bit.
We can only get better, hopefully.
Has
to be, John.
Because you just think that, especially the first 45 minutes, you know.
Oh yeah, do you want the full-time socials?
Push Job up front, still you're asking a player to play in a position which is not his regular position. You know, we talk about movement, you know, and maybe you look at the both teams, and you might have to say the difference is they had a striker, especially when they brought Sinclair on, who was a, shall we say, a handful. He got behind us, he caused us 1 or 2 problems because he was willing to run.
Right, ready for the socials, guys?
You know, he's had 3 or 4 shots on target, and that's what we're looking for,
right.
And that's something
point is a
we
point,
don't have.
But need to stay in this
Cardiff,
league
they should have a few
to
more
try and
players
get some sort of stability in the club before even considering challenging to get back into the Premier League.
That run of defeats, they've got themselves.
The players look so disconnected, says Lee. It's hard to watch.
They'll go
doesn't look like they are capable of creating a clear, quick chance from now until the end of the season. Only way we will score is
look
for
a bit
some
more
individual
positive
player or a penalty, because they don't see our team out there. Also,
to the end of the season.
Do we coat the turf with tar before kickoff? I didn't see a single player
shall we say, make that
jogging
change to change maybe our thinking. You know, we did the same at Norwich. We did the same at Southampton. You know, it's taken when we've made changes.
It's painful to.
I don't know if it's a big weight off your shoulders.
0 shots on goal. They all want
to play with a little bit more
again.
freedom.
People who have the want, need, and
I think,
motivation.
hopefully the mood lifts a little bit.
Dodds
it wasn't a great game, as we say, but they haven't lost it,
anything
and
from
that's
this
the key
apart
thing
from
this afternoon.
sheet.
We'll hear from Mike Dodds
Crap from start to finish.
in the next
I mean,
hour.
people have been a
and
bit
of course,
too
we've got full
harsh, do you
half
think?
5 of Manchester City versus Newcastle United. Here at the Stadium of Light, it has finished. Goalless, Sunderland 0.
Stuart Bell, stop the rot. Hopefully we'll get some players back. Thanks for the stream. No, yeah,
Total Sport North East.
And cheers for tuning in, everyone. And there'll be loads of videos getting posted, loads of classic goals, and loads of banter and chat and news from Sunderland FC. What's going on? So we'll catch you later.